And this guy, 2 o'clock. For now, those guys. Thank you so much, Adara, Fabian, Ramin, Bears vs. Bulls, everybody. Michael Noss today. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the show. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Let's go to the midday.
Boom, boom, boom. Bang! Greetings and salutations, beautiful people. Welcome to the midday show. That's your boy Joey Options, and I am Sharif. And you know, YouTube likes to do their thing, so we're gonna do our thing and continue to wait. Shout out to Bears versus Bulls. Here we frickin' go. My man Kalua, Skull, howdy, right back at you, partner.
Oh, what's up?
We got Gorav, the OG, Trader G-Man. Welcome, my man, to Trader TV Live. We got Fiddleback, Pitchbull, Mateus frickin' Lane, and Mike the Rider. Proper Paradox and Jacques. Sharif's mom, get out of the chat immediately. We got Melcat, Nephew, the capital P, Mike. I already mentioned that. D-Rider, shout out to Smokey Love, Stuart, Duke, Paul, Dale, Dan Gale, excuse me. We're going to go with Apple. Who else we got here? Mary, Andrew Sandoval, and Jose Villa. How about Dan Gale and Common Sense? Ayash Sharma, Parabolic, something or another. Ralph Woodward and Trader Lumi. We got Michael DCA. He is Sharif, says Vivi. Daryl Finch and Jin Vesting. Who else? Clint Hamilton and Dumbo. Things Film. TX Trader here as well. Shout out to Omar and Kobe the Kid, Aces, Full, and Joe Williams. Pop La Cork, Leo, Martin Dinsdale, and Viper Horse, the Piper, the OG there, and Travman, Joseph, he's in the house as well.
Travman.
I like that. Yeah. Felipe Oliver Dupuis. I butchered that, but, you know, it's kind of what I do. AC, Showtime 1, and Bold. I won't say that last part. My man there always tries to get me. Ceylon Mix. Ceylon, I like that. Live, Love, and Sail. What do you think they do in their spare time there, Joseph?
Ooh, not
Oslam,
Sail.
Not Sail. And Pizza Rat. Shout out to Pizza Mouth, and Pax, Jameson, Young Talent, and Constantine. Shout out to everybody, guys. Thank you for joining us on a Monday. It is the midday. Shout out to Nicole Harrison, Hotlanta. Great look there. One of the OGs in the chat, Joseph.
Yes,
what do you got on your screen there, man? Tell them.
Yeah. We're short some IBIT right now, guys. I know we're short one of the stronger names, but the market is relatively weak here today. You can see with the likes of NVDA and Tesla continuing to move to the south side here. But let's see what we cooked up this morning. You know, Katina Man was talking about Hood. We traded some Hood this morning. That worked out really nice for us here, guys. So you can see we just start small, and then eventually we get into a little bit more than full size there, and then we just start to piece it out. And then I got stopped at about 33%, looking for the volume weighted average price to hold up, and then maybe for the continuation of the trend. But again, just sticking to strong names. Robinhood has been one of them. Gorav and I, Los Polios, Pizza Rat, we've all been talking about this one. You're short IBIT. Yeah, I'm short IBIT, sadly. But I mean, it is what it is. Let's see if that can start working for us. But then we started trading some Tesla this morning. Took a couple stabs for us to get this ball rolling here today, guys. But what I was looking at Tesla, it's not going to be displayed the same as the actual underlying. But I was just looking for a breakout. You can see that we were sitting at the top of the range. So I'm like, okay, we're either going to break out or reject. And the setup displayed itself. So I took a stab here. Got stopped out at the volume weighted average price, and then I got right back in for the break of this high a day, and then I actually was a little bit heavier on this entry, and then we got that pop, and then we got stopped out as the market continued to move to the south side. But now we're continuing to just sit in this IBIT trade. Let's see if this can work out for us here, guys. We added to this position as well. You can see that we got that move down. We had the I almost got stopped out. I was about 4 pennies away from getting stopped out. Okay, we failed to construct a new high. Let me add to the position as we formed a lower high, and then now you can see we're starting to head into some of these support zones. So if we can break this, once we crack that around 53.60 is when I'm going to start to take some off here, Sharif. So we're liking this short here. It is a strong underlying. We're only down about 1% on the day, but relative to what was happening on the weekend, relatively flat, but past the latter half of last week, Sharif, was pretty strong.
Absolutely, sir. All right, let's get down to business and show exactly what we got here for the small cap gappers, wasting no time. Your best one on the day. I'm not talking about the best percentage winner, but I'm talking about that chef's kiss pattern on the chart. It goes by the ticker PONY. You heard your boy Obi and your boy the Katina man talk about this one. This one gave up the ghost quite aggressively into the midday on Friday because it had a very good day. As you can see on Thursday, up and to the right, we make that new high at 975. We knock on the door at 10, and here we are again, weaseling back into that 9 1/3, taking out that 9 1/3. We're about to get to 9 1/2. We'll see. We have to keep an eye, a very close eye, on that 9 3/4 area. That could be the area where we turn, at least intraday. Find resistance at that area. And the reason I say that is because this 9 1/2 to 9 3/4 on your friend Pony was a hard road to hoe, man, right? Look at that. Couldn't take that out. 1 wick, 2 wick, 3 wick, 4 wick, 5 wick. You get it. The wicks couldn't penetrate the level. And so we're going to keep an eye out on that level if it does come into play. Right now, I'm looking at it for another 9 dip. It already gave you a 3-candle dip trade into 9, and now we're making new highs and new lows. So I think that maybe that $9 dip trade may be behind us. We'll have to wait and see whether it's a rinse and repeat. But PON freaking Y, man, beautiful look. And there's a lot of similarities when you look at the chart on the top left corner of my screen versus the bottom top left corner versus the bottom left corner. That bottom left one is RGLS, and it's a very similar pattern, as you can see, up into the right like PONY, very respectful of that green line, that solid green line, which is the 10 exponential moving average on my chart. Alas, RGLS, far less volume than your friend Pony, and it's also not giving you much of as much, I should say, of a notional. In any event, it's moving up and to the right, so we're going to look to see if we can extract some profitability on this one. This one here, FFAI. All right, this is a rinse and repeat for a lot of small cap traders and anybody who's interested in electric vehicles. Faraday frickin' futures. There's no frickin', it's just Faraday futures, so don't search frickin'. Very VWAP centric at the moment. All the dip trades pull into that white solid line on my chart, that volume weighted average price. It seems to find a buyer in and around there, and we just took out the top end of that bull flag at $1.30. We're at $1.33 now, knocking on the door of that 1 1/3. We still haven't broken it yet, but this could be the top breakout we're looking for. This is obviously a bull flag, especially being kept up on the lower end by the volume weighted average price. So I'm a buyer in that one as well. Plug Power, I'm involved in this one here for a VWAP retracement. This is going to be as simple of a trade as it gets. I punch in at VWAP. If it loses VWAP, we're going to take a very light hit and we'll move on. Simple as that. So Plug Power in that at the moment, 1 penny out of the money. Wolf, WOLF, a former runner. This one did bub kiss on Friday, but it had a good move on Thursday. Up and to the right it goes, and up and to the right it goes again. 422 high a day. That $4 area is of interest to me, given its proximity to the volume weighted average price. VWAP 395. The psychological support could be at 4. We're at 403 right now. Let's see if this one wants to hold up. TMC losing the volume weighted average price. Same thing with SABR. What's going on there, Joseph?
Bitcoin's really breaking down here, guys. So yeah, sorry, Sharif.
Go ahead, bro.
I'll get right to you. So yeah, you know, when things are starting to really move, we like to cover that here, and you can see that I'm slowly starting to piece them out here of IBIT as we continuously break down here. We're getting that move that we were expecting. People in the chat were asking me, hey, what's your target here? I said I would like the lower day, but again, it's a strong name. But at this pace, as you've seen the market just put in a new lower day, the Qs are now trading south of that opening drive now, Sharif, and same with the SPY. Amazon heading towards some key support levels as well, but Tesla absolutely tanking here, guys, and NVDA is following it as well. So we're going to continue to piece it off. As we head to the south side here, guys, in IBIT, we're going to aim for that lower day. We still have exactly about 66% of this position. We're going to try to hold as much as we can to that target, but we've already hit a 2-to-1 here, Sharif.
I love it, Joseph. Yeah, man, feel free to interrupt me anytime you need, baby.
For sure.
All right, so here's the deal. We just weaseled into Pony on a dip trade into 9. A couple of beak wetters already. We're at 8.99. I took some out at 9.11. Sorry for my American friends out there. But now we're waiting at 15s and 18s, and we're going to go ahead and also wait at 25s. I don't feel like the right idea here would be to dollar cost average. This is a VWAP, a 10 exponential retracement that happens to overlap with the whole dollar level. So anything below 8 sorry, 890, I'm out. So we'll risk 9 pennies on this, and that's exactly what I'm going to do right now. Let's throw in those. Let's throw in those orders right there, and then we'll do just that. Boom! Back up to the high side. I love when I put out my orders, Joseph, and they're hanging out on the charts, and then I look back.
And boom.
And they're just red triangles right there. Take those profits, baby. So we're doing it live right now on PONY, as Obi mentioned, as the Katina man mentioned. This one is moving. I yelled it over to the Katina man because I know he was talking about this one on Thursday and Friday. I figured maybe he'd want to wet the beak, but he was busy with other trades, so no worries there. So we're doing it live right now on PONY. I think I've got 1 or 2 more outs. Allow me to check. Over here, we got 1 more out on your friend Pony. So it's going to have to take out that 9 1/4 for that to get printed. Either that or I get stopped out. I won't be taking it out either between that or below that. It's going to be at my stop or at my profit taker. End of story there. Your friend RGLS, though, continues to go. So I was disrespecting this one, saying that Pony looked a little bit better than its younger cousin, RGLS. No relations, of course. The charts happen to look very similar. That's why I make that kind of stupid joke. But RGLS just took out the high, $3.42 now HOD. It's up about a little bit less than 24%, so not a bad look there. Plug Power continues to do bupkis. We're out of the money on that one by about 3 pennies. We'll see what the situation is. I wanted to mention one last one over here. Where's my man Bovin at? Bovin, show yourself. Because you got a ticker over here, my man. BHVN, it's paying homage to the small cap gapper trader extraordinaire that goes by the name Bovin. Shout out to my other pair of eyes in the chat. I don't know, Bovin, you know, I think they should have given you a lot more volume on the day over here. But you got a good looking pattern. It's looking awfully bull flaggish. Maybe a dip trade into that 21 1/3, maybe 21 1/4 gets me involved. But BHVN, another one that's decent here, but a little bit lighter on volume, guys, so be careful with this one.
Yeah, I see. Who said this here in the chat? Let me see. Patrick Riley. Yeah. Every time Shree says Pony, he thinks it's genuine. I like
saw that.
Yeah, funny stuff. So yeah, I don't think there's any news, to be honest with you, significantly about just the market heading to the south side, Sharif. I think it's just we're pulling back off of Friday's strength. You can see that NVDA was really strong. Now we're down back to 107. Tesla strong as well. Let's take a look at the daily. To see what we got going on from on Tesla from that standpoint.
What do we got?
This is what I was looking at and why I had my notes fixated on this name, is that you can see where we open up, and that's right on top of this range. And I was looking for that continuation of the breakout. We got a small move. As you see, we punched through some key resistance zones, but then we kind of just came right back into the midst of this kind of this consolidation phase right here. So that was a breakout trade for me. Obviously, there was no extreme follow through. You got a little bit, but now we're starting to come back in. But you can see resistance zone right here. We open up on top, and then we get a little push to the top side, and that's why we put this specific trade on here. Pull it up one more time. Oh, you're in something? Yeah, exactly. Oh, did you just do that? Did you wet the beak? All right, let's go. So this is where this came from. It's unfortunate. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what this stock looks like right now. Yeah, continuing to move to the downside here, guys. But I mean, I'm still red on it, to be honest with you guys. But because here I got into this. Went slightly green here, and then I took another stab at it for the continuation. There was a hammer candle printed right there with that isolated volume signature, and I was looking for that move back towards the volume-weighted average price. But you can see that we were just forming these consistent higher lows, and then we didn't have the ability to sit on top of them and then buy or step in to push it towards the volume-weighted average price, which would have been one of my primary targets. But unfortunately, it was not, and you can see that we're continuously bleeding here, and the momentum to the downside is really starting to pick up. Maybe it's that earnings play really coming into effect to people realizing how actually trash those numbers were. Maybe just some optimism based off of all those Austin fairs going back and forth. But it was 1,800 of them or something like that, I believe.
So 1,500 rides, 15,000 miles. That's what we know about.
What we know about. So I think the market was kind of excited about that, but then maybe reality kicked in and we're like, yeah, these numbers are actually pretty garbage.
Did you hear about today?
No.
We got a cheaper Model Y.
Oh, they're coming out with the cheaper Model Y?
I kind of don't believe this. I gotta tell you the truth. $28,000. I'll believe that when I see it. I'm sure they're talking American, but I have a hard time believing that.
Yeah, I mean,
I need to see it.
It goes to. We all know that Elon's a little optimistic about his timeline.
He is, and the costs.
Right, and the costs. So I would rather him just not kind of like what is the word, and under-deliver, kind of over-promise and under-deliver. I'd rather kind of do the opposite, but it doesn't seem to be the case, and it doesn't matter. Elon's going to do what he wants to do.
All right, Pony's breaking out here, Joseph. So we did it live. We took out the rest at $9.25, excuse me. But, you know, true to form, it makes you feel bad. Now, look, this trading small caps is not like trading a large cap. So the technique with these small caps is to get in a lot of shares for small price movements. So don't feel bad about yourself if you see this, because this will make you feel really bad and want to punch in even though you shouldn't be punching in at certain times. Now, this is not such a bad time to punch in, right? This is what we call the breakout, the actual breakout. Now, let's see if we can get something on the micro pullback. It's going to be smaller size now on this. So I'm looking for something in a 9.5. If it gives me 9.5, fantastic. If it doesn't, we're out. We won't get in, excuse me. So I'm continuing to watch right now. Pony is on a big boy breakout, blowing through that 9 1/3 where that it had a triple top at. Now it's at 9.85. Let's see if we can get something in the $0.50 here. We're in the mid-60s, not quite as low as I'd like. The reason I want the $0.50 is because it's the $0.50. Could be an area of psychological support. It's not a hard and fast rule. I'm just trying to put the odds on my side. So PONY really going here now. It's up 40% with a $9.85 high, dropping back down into that $0.75. I'm looking for around the $0.50. Currently still not giving it to me, so I'll pack my patience there. A good move up. Let me give you some information, though, on Pony in terms of technical information that may be of interest to you. So the float, first and foremost, Trade Ideas is telling me 280.25 million shares. Let me just double check that with my platform, see what they're saying. Now, I don't have a short float, sadly, on Pony vis-a-vis Trade Ideas. I don't even have a float, mind you, a short float on my platform. So there's not much, sadly, I can give you in terms of any more than volume, percentage up on the day, float, etc. on PONY. But we'll see if this one wants to continue to drop down. I'm still waiting here in the $0.50, low 60s. We're going. Let's see if this bid drop or bid creep, as Adair sometimes calls it, continues to drop down into that $0.50, or whether the 2/3 of the dollar will be the bottom before we possibly make our move up. We're going to give this one the old community college try and wait up here at 77s. We're showing 77 on the ask, so we'll take it out here. There we go. Now let's set up at 82s. Now it's 78s on the ask. So let's see if this one continues to go. We only got 73, so definitely need a bigger push up. Way smaller of a position this time around since I'm punching it at highs. Now, we're talking about the bid creep. This is the ask creep now, where you see a lower posted high on every successive up move. Let's see if we can take that out. There it is. All right, so now we're doing it live right now. Now we're doing it 82s. Let's wait now in the mid-90s. We've de-risked, right? So we took out the majority of the position so we can sit easy a little bit now and give this one a bit more room to do its dance with absolutely no underwear or pants. So now, anything below 965, I'm gonzino. So let's go ahead and throw that in there. And I won't be adding into that, by the way. Okay, so it's going to have to hold up at that level. We've thrown in the stop now. Let's see if this one wants to take out the top. We are at the high of the day. So 985 high day. That is right now the current high day. Definitely a seller at that high day. Now you're seeing here on the level. Oh, Joseph, here we go. It's not going to come. I'm flattening out, baby. Boom. No, you can't take that risk. Bro, it's not trading. This is not trading Tesla. This is trading small caps. There's a different way to trade these. So we're going to keep an eye out on this one. If it wants to take out 10 and continue to go, we'll get right back into it. But take the money and run. This is not the same thing as trading large caps. These ones will turn on you in a second. If you think you can buy and hold these, you got another thing coming. What do you got?
I got some IBIT cooking up here still, Sharif. We're still sitting in this trade. If we can pull up my screen here real quick, you can see that short really working out nice for us. We enter the trade here, guys. Oops. We enter the trade right here, add to this position, and then sure enough, we wait for that crack. And I told you what the primary target was. We're going to get it some out at 53.60s, and then we're going to aim for the low a day with about just a little bit under half of the position remaining right now I'm going to take another 10% off right here, guys. Oh, no, not just yet. I'll be patient because I want it to construct a new low here on this time frame. So let's see what we got going on with that. But we'll go over my other trades as well. What did I trade? We went over hood. I'm really happy with this trade. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that because we can always do better. But just the execution on this, I seen this inverted hammer at the lows on the 5-minute time frame, and I'm like, all right, let's start this. And once the ball really starts to get rolling, let's triple up the position, and that's what we did. And then we just started to piece out. Once we got on the backside of this trend, I took off half of what I was remaining, but then I still got stopped out about 33% right there. So that's okay. We were looking for the dream and the hold of the volume weighted average price, just didn't work out. So we're not going to cry over spilled milk or anything like that because it was a profitable trade. But what we are going to do right now, Sharif, is take a little bit more off of IBIT as we continue to move to the south side. As you can see, I'm short intraday, but I'm long in every other aspect other than that. So again, not too deep of a pullback is fine. I can grab some more shares down here, especially considering that I have a winning trade cooking up in the swing and everything else. But we'll take a little bit more out there, another 10%, guys. Bang, this is really starting to work as we head toward the low day. Let me zoom out a bit. We're gonna put it on a higher time frame. Right, there we go. So that's what we were aiming for, the low of the day. This one's really working out for us. So a good trade here on IBIT shorts. Once we constructed that lower high, I'm like, all right, now we're going to crack through some key support levels. The market's moving to the south side. Bitcoin was only a matter of time until it started following, and here we go. We're starting to take this out. We got just under 20% of this position, Sharif, and we're going to hold this for the crack of the low of the day and see what we got on. I'm going to take out half on my next out and then just leave the rest for a runner because it's been a pretty good trade for us this far.
All right, man. Good luck there. Keep me apprised of how that's going. We're got into a new position now. WOLF, Wolf, at 22% on the day. Up, that is. The reason we're in here, volume weighted average price pullback, which is very close to that $4 area. So we're in at 99s. Let's go ahead and see whether we can get something at 5s and then possibly a little bit higher. The deal with this one is I'm taking it out below 90. So we're going to go 388 outs on this one, and we'll give it to, we'll give it a little bit of room on that. So that's the situation right now with your boy Wolf. Volume weighted average price pullback, kind of conflating with that $4 area. We'll see if it ends up holding up at that area, but that's my look now. Let's go back to Pony. Let's see what the situation with Pony is. As I expected, rejecting 10, so my out was sound. Now what we want to keep an eye out on is that 998 break, by extension, of course, that $10 break. And if it blows through 10 and gets above it, like it could do right now, then we can use, and it gets sufficiently past 10, we can use 10 as that area of support rather than what it currently is acting at, which is resistance. So I'm keeping my eye on Pony. This is the big boy mover of the day, okay? And it's breaking out, and it has its highest volume bar, the previous one, so the one that printed at 11:15, excuse me, that's been the highest volume bar on the day. So it didn't run as much in the pre-market. It didn't run as much as the open. This is the best it's done on the day, so it behooves us to make sure we're trading it correctly, soundly, and keep an eye on it, because these guys, they just don't spend too much time at any one level, and you got to make sure that you're super quick with the keys or have these pre-programmed so you can take advantage of it. So keeping my eye on Wolf, because now I'm out of the money on that one, Joseph, and it's coming back down against me a little bit over here. I'm talking about WOLF. Anything below 90s, we're gone on that one. I'm still break even right now on plug power as it continues to hold at the volume weighted average price, 109. I'm long 111s, but it's really this trade here on PONY that I want to get back into if it is the right trade. Continuing to hold up at the high day, 998, essentially 10, Joseph, still acting as resistance.
Nice. Obi, you still short Tesla there, my guy? Nope. All right. He was in at 86s. I don't got to tell him what we're trading at now because he knows most definitely what he's got going on over there. But I'm sure he's short something or looking for that maybe that move back towards the volume weighted average price at some point. I do believe that can happen. I like this waterfall type price action that we're seeing here on Tesla. So I'm waiting for that indecision print, waiting for that stopping volume, paying attention by the volume by time profile to see, hey, when are we going to stop? I like this engulfing candle right here, and I like this indecision print. So be patient and let's wait for what's to come. If we print more indecision around these lows, we might be able to find somewhat of a reversal, but you can see here, guys, waterfall type price action here on Tesla in the past 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 minutes.
Oh.
We haven't put in a green candle on the 5-minute here, Sharif.
Say it ain't so, Joseph.
Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. Whoa, whoa.
Get it, Joe.
Who sings that song? I forget who sings that one. You know which one I'm getting at there, Sharif. But yeah, that's what we're seeing here. So we're going to wait for those indecision prints here in the market, considering what type of price action we are seeing. And now we're getting slightly that stopping volume. So the more indecision around these, if anybody knows what song that is, please let me. Weezer, there we go.
Weezer
is
so
it Weezer?
sick.
All right, yeah. Send me the actual track name. I'm going to listen to
Just like Buddy Holly.
Is that the same song?
And a Mary Tyler Moore, but I don't care what they say of us. Anyways, I don't care about that.
All right,
Hey, sorry, guys.
What I do care about, Sharif, is taking a little bit more off the top
Get it,
here
Joe.
on IBIT as we continue to move to the south side. There we go, guys. We got a nice fill. You can see what we had cooking up. Again, I'll go over the trade plan. Actually, this is what I'm going to do. So what was I essentially shorting off of? This at VWAP. All right, I always tell you guys about these signals, and then this is where we have to play them. You get that inverted hammer with that candle right at the volume-weighted average price. I wait for the crack. We enter. We had the inability to construct a new high, add to the position, and now we've put in a new low a day. Let's see what Adair is up to, guys.
I just want to let you guys know there's no news to explain this drop to the down or push to the downside here in the market. The only economic number we had came through at 10:30 a.m. That was the Dallas Fed manufacturing. As mentioned, lots of concern here about tariffs and a significant month-over-month drop, though it is nowhere near all-time lows for the metrics. So either way, just wanted to provide some updates here as the NASDAQ sinks pretty aggressively today with no Trump Truth Social post since 9:49. Back to you. Yeah.
Get on the phone, Donald.
No,
I mean, like,
Sharif, he's on it. He's just waiting for the perfect time. He's
Stop
thinking
you
about
out,
what he
right?
yeah, exactly. He's just like, all right, wait till the boys here at Real Trading are in this specific
the thing,
position.
bro.
Obi's going to be going this way. You're going to be going one way, and then I'm going to be like, what is going on here as we get that tweet and as Bitcoin continues to break down here.
Oh no,
we're going to take a little bit more off here, guys. Nothing crazy. We don't have too much left, but we will take a 10% of what we have remaining. And what a trade that was, breaking down here in Bitcoin. It's nice to short it intraday, but damn, I wanted this thing to continue to climb higher.
Okay, well, here we go. So we're continuing to watch Pony here, guys, as it's still rejecting that $10 level. It's not really giving it up, though. It's not moving back into that 10 exponential, so I don't want to pick it up off here. This is kind of like no man's land. It's finding area support at an area that I didn't chart. So I'll continue to watch. I like it possibly for another entry now that it's failed the break of 10 at 9 1/3. 9 1/3, not a random area for me. It is where the 10 exponential moving average on the 5-minute chart is, of which it's been very respectful. So this is the Pony chart right here on the 5. You can see that when it pulled back in, it had a 3-candle hold up, almost beautifully, perfectly done there with the 10 exponential. Test it. I mean, I'm just going to give it the old college try there. We're going to see what happens. Continuing to watch here as Wolf basically does nothing at the volume weighted average price. Don't want to take it out too quick. I put my stop at 88. Plug continues to do nothing, showing me 109s when I'm long 111s. But you know, it could be a head and shoulders pattern here that I'm seeing on Plug, with the neckline being maybe that $1.06, $1.05. So I'm a little concerned about Plug over here. I didn't take the largest shares on it, but definitely need to manage this one because look at the size of the book. Now, I get that this is a dollar stock, but there is probably around 5,000, maybe a little bit less, lots posted at $1.08. Now, it's always incumbent upon us to juxtapose the lottage on the ask side of the equation with the bid side of the equation. And I'll tell you, it looks like 2-to-1 right now on the ask, heavier than the bid. Just compare the ARB and the ARCX post to the NSB and NSDQ, excuse me. You have 1161 on both these gateways, only 561 on here. Now, that looks to me more like a market maker post than a real order sitting there. But it gives us an idea of where the heavier part of the trade is. Is it the ask or the bid side? Right now, it definitely feels like the ask. So keeping my eye out on that. Pony rocketing back up, baby. Here it is. Now it's basically a hammer candle right into what seems to be that 957 area, and this one looks like it wants to take out 10. Alas, it still hasn't. So 10, now a 4 candle rejection on the 5-minute chart on PONY at around that $10 area. So we'll see exactly what happens over here with that, but definitely looking for that break, a decided break of 10. Don't be fooled into a perfunctory break. Here we go. Now we got the actual break of 10. 10.16 high a day right now on PONY. What's the deal? Is it going to clear 10 aggressively, or what's the situation? So let's see exactly what we can get here. A dip. Let's look for the micro pullback in the exact same way that we did it on the way to 10. Does it give us a micro pullback into the 10 single digits? Right now it's at 10 mid-teens. So you're getting aggressive moves up to the high side right now on PONY. This one looks like it might want to go. This is a huge mover on the day, guys. PONY is on one right now. Here we go. So we got 24s. Let's go ahead and wait at 28s. Let's see what we can get there. We got 27 bid right now. Excuse me. There we go. So we'll continue to wait up. I'm going to wait at $0.33 as well. Joseph, what do you got?
I got
okay, so we can continue going.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, I'm still in this trade here, guys. You can see that we're continuously breaking down, but I am starting to see some potential reversal candles here in the likes of Robinhood. This is exactly what I want to see here, Sharif. Look at the size of this volume with that indecision print. That is really, really important for me. I'm not going to just dive right after this and hop in long. I'm going to be a little bit more patient on this, just in case we do crack it. I'm going to wait for the retest and then some candles that print that say, hey, we're not going to put in a new low. So what we can classify this volume as potentially is stopping volume. All right? So we'll pay attention. We're going to be patient. We're going to wait for the retest, and there might be an additional long here in Robinhood. You've seen that we were long this not too long earlier in the morning. Well, actually, you didn't see it, but I showed you guys and I displayed it to you. So I'm going to be patient, but we also have the same signals on IBIT as well, but the volume isn't there. So you can see we went long here on Robinhood, but now on the 5-minute time frame, we got that isolated volume signature and an indecision print. Gonna wait for the retest, and then we'll have the ability to hop right into this trade there, Sharif.
Okay, great trade, Joe. We did it again here on Pony, man. Punched in at 10.20. We took it out at 10.40. So we take another 20 cents on PONY. It's zigging, it's zagging. Look for that $10 dip trade. It's not going to give it to you for long. And I really want to stress this. Either you're going to be super freaking quick on the keys, or obviously use hotkeys, excuse me, shortcuts, or have your resting orders at your key levels. So PONY at $10, 39-cent high a day. It passed 10, in my humble submission, by enough distance so that we can say, maybe that $10 dip trade is money at the moment. Let's watch now. It's moving down into the teens, 10 mid-teens, high teens at the moment, 17s I'm talking about, 45 and a fifth percent. Does it bounce off here? Here's the 10. So now we got 10 single digits. What's the move here? Are we going to pick it up off here, or is it going to zig and zag a little bit above 10, a little bit below? That's the question. I think we should probably pick it up a little bit closer to 10. Again, 10 mid-single digits, 10.05, 10.07, something in and around that area. Right now it's showing you 10.17. So it hasn't even come in yet and tested that $10 area. It just zoomed up from 10 into 10.40. So good strength right now on PONY. We're doing it freaking live, and we'll continue to do it live every single day. If you like these small caps, you will join us during the midday show, because we're always trading these on the midday, Joseph. I really don't trade large caps. You know that.
No, yeah, you don't
so
really
that's the situation right now.
That's it.
I'm going to keep an eye out on that. Get it, Obe. Get it, Obe. Obe's printing up a storm over there, bro.
On what? On what? Tesla.
Yeah, because you called him out on it, so he printed live on it. There it is, my boy.
Wait for those candles. Wait for all those indecision. Let's zoom in here on Robinhood. Look at this Look at these 1-minute prints right here, guys. Indecision. Oh, massive engulfing volume candle. And look at the 1-minute print. That's an anomaly all day. Like, that's not a genuine print whatsoever. And you can correlate that with the volume by time profile, and you can see that we got a nice move from the crackle from 48 all the way up to 48.56. So really good good look there. A lot of good indecision everywhere. Gaurav, I was waiting for you, my friend. There is a lot of good indecision everywhere. But one I'm not going to take is this NVDA one. I don't love that right now. I'm waiting for this retest in Robinhood, just in case we do decide that we're going to reverse here in the market. And I'm going to look to get involved. I want to stick to names that I believe are strong and that have been working for me. So that's the likes of IBIT and Robinhood. I'm glad that Obi's killing Tesla. Sharif's absolutely killing Pony over there as well, too. I'm just taking multiple trades on it. So good luck there, guys. And let's see what we got going on for this IBIT trade as we wait for this pullback here in HOOD, because I do believe that, they report this week as well. It's going to be a big report. I was reading a lot about it over the weekend. Again, it's not good when all the analysts say that it could have a push higher, but I mean, we'll take it for what it is. I mentioned before, when you have heightened volatility in the market, the heightened transactions, that's better for Robinhood. And they just kind of confirmed what Sharif and I have been talking about for a long time, is that it seems to be the platform amongst the youth. They really like it. They like the compatibility and everything along those lines with Robinhood. So really looking forward to that report. I believe it's either Wednesday or Thursday evening. So I'll most definitely be paying attention to that. I bought some more last week. And then when I was looking at it, I tried not to pay too much attention to it. I looked at it the other day and I'm like, wow, we're trading at 50s? Let's go. Because you know that we're in at the low 40s. So Robinhood continuing to climb higher here on that 1 minute time frame. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. That's why, see, I think that's just such a massive skill. Obviously, if we knew it was going to work or not, but if you see that your setup display itself, just take it. So you're not on the fence like I am, being like, I wish I took that trade. It's either our risk profile was defined. It's either I get stopped out at the low of day, or we put on an absolute monster trade like we're seeing right now here in HOOD. But we didn't do it, Sharif, but we're still cooking up here in IBIT. We love that. So we're going to continue to hold on to this trade until otherwise.
All right, Joe. Man, sounds good there. We're doing it freaking live on Wolf. All right, here we go. We got 99s. I just wet the beak there at 8s. It did pop up into 10s. Sadly, it did not cross, so we didn't get the fill. Simple as that. It's got to cross that area that you have posted. So if you posted it at $4.10, it's got to have $4.10 on this side, on the right side of the level 2, which is the ask side of the level 2. So it has to cross on the ask. Right now, it's being met with aggressive selling at 8s. It's been doing that for a hot minute, zigging, zagging, a little at 8s, a little at 7s. It wicked up the 10. It was just a quick wick into that level, and then down we go again. So we're doing it right now on this one. In case you're wondering why I got into a random name like Wolf, this is up about 24% on the day, and it came back in to test the volume weighted average price. So I said, look, give it the old community college try at VWAP. There seems to be a lot of buyers in and around that area, so we gave it a try, and that's what we're doing right now. So waiting for that print at 10s. It's still eluding me at the moment as that seller at 8s. But look at RGLS go, man. We haven't executed anything on this one, and I should be on this one a lot more. This is up and to the right. It has not even breached the 10 exponential on a wick or closing basis at all on the day. Since that 9:30 a.m. print manifested and we opened these here markets, as Adara likes to say, this one has not breached the 10. Look at this thing go, man. It looks like a dang buy program that's basing it off the 10, Joseph. I mean, is this just coincidental every single time? The 10 seems to be support. I would say, probably not, brother. So that we're going to keep an eye on that one, and we'll look to execute if it is warranted. Let's go, Wolf. Cross, bro. No, I'm not waiting anymore. Punk. There we go. No. Bro, I tried to cancel my order and then it filled me. I'm getting back in. I don't care. I'm getting back in. No, this one I didn't want to take it out. No, this is a good technical level right now. I tried to cancel the order. I wanted one B-quarter left, and it was just, I'm too slow to cancel. This one's continuing to go, guys. WOLF, we're all out of this one, but we're going to get back in. Great look right now for Wolf, up 25.25, and there it goes into yet another local high. Keep in mind that 420 area was where we kind of peaked out at that rounded top. Let me make my case to you guys. So here's the situation with We get all the way up into that 415, double top at that 410, 415. We drop quick as you like. Big quick drop there into 3 2/3. We then make our way back incrementally and print that that intraday high 422. We drop back down into this area. This is where I got involved. That white line there, that is the volume weighted average price, always on my charts. We punched in there and then it's moving right back up. So I want to see, what do we do at 415, 420? Are we going to be met with the same kind of selling? Because this is aggressive selling here. Now, it could be profit taking, this red candle here at around 945, because it was such an aggressive move in the pre-market, and at the open, you could have a lot of beak wetters right there pushing this bad boy down into $1/3 of a dollar. And then, we kind of make that incremental higher highs and higher lows. And now we're at basically local highs, 415. What's going on, Fabian? We're going to Brendo?
Going to Brendo, yeah.
All right. Okay, guys. We're going to Brendo at the big desk.
Much. We're talking options, specifically options on CDRs here in Canada. If you are a Canadian retail investor, we're really happy to have Etienne Menard, Head of Product Equity Derivatives over at the TMX Group, joining us from Montreal this morning. Etienne, good to see you.
Yeah, exactly. It's a tough morning for us. We just lost against Washington last night, so.
It's one of those things, right? It's Toronto on this side of the camera, so we're used to it, depending on how old you are. So I feel your pain this morning. But it's an exciting time for this product specifically, as we've talked about on this show many, many times. A lot of us in this room holding CDRs specifically in the long-term account. But now we're discussing the benefit of options trading here becoming available on CDRs specifically. So lead the way here. Why is this such a game changer for retail investors?
Yeah, as you just mentioned, many advantages of trading CDRs themselves as a Canadian investors. And as you said, familiar with the fact that currency hedge gives you exposure to US or global stocks. But really what brought us here, Montreal Exchange, to introduce these options is really the pickup in volume on the CDRs themselves. So there was a clear need to broaden up the ecosystem of the CDRs, which is what we did on March 3rd. We launched options on the 10 most traded CDRs. And again, just to name those, and these are the usual suspects, but really the CDRs that are most traded from the investors. We have Tesla, NVDA, Microsoft, and Meta, Cisco, Berkshire, Apple, Alphabet, Amazon, AMD. So really the idea is to leverage on the advantages of the CDRs, namely currency hedge and the fractional exposure that these CDRs by design are offering, and bringing these advantages to the derivatives and, again, broaden up the investors' opportunities and leverage on the high demand and popularity of the underlying product.
When you talk about the fractional ownership there, can you explain specifically how that applies to CDRs? I mean, retail investors have been hearing this term over and over again over the past few years, that fractional ownership idea, but how is it maybe different when it comes to a CDR product?
Well, it's different. The options and the CDRs themselves, as I mentioned, they share the benefits of the fraction. But if I'm giving some examples and again, just to provide some numbers and a concrete example, for example, a at-the-money 1 month call on a stock that trades in between $200 and $300 US is north of $2,000 per call. Okay, it represents 100 shares of the underlying. The options on CDRs, same concept, 100 shares, but 100 shares of a CDR that is priced at a fraction of the global stock or the US that it's tracking. So a 1 month at the money call on the CDR itself won't trade in thousands of dollars, but in hundreds of dollars. So again, it broadened up the type of clients that can benefit from these instruments and making it much more affordable. And again, I insist on the fact that these advantages on the CDR design side, they're fully transferred to these options. Another good example, let's say you're running a covered call strategy. So simple strategy, you're long the stock, short a call. In order to implement a single position in the US on a stock that trades, once again, let's say $250, you need to buy 100 shares of that stock. You need to invest $25,000 to be able to sell a single call, right? This is not accessible for many investors. And let's say you want a second twist and you want a diversified portfolio within your investments, and you want to add 4 or 5 others of these names, then you need over $100,000. As opposed to from the CDR side, you need really a fraction of this, where it's about like $3,000 per exposure. You can then twist and very fine tune your position. If you're looking for, let's say, like 10 grand of a single name, you do 300 shares, 3 calls, and you're good to go. So really, it's a strong advantages in terms of like allowing more and more investors to use these like very interesting instruments, and especially in these highly volatile environment as we're experiencing right now.
Let's talk about currency specifically here, Etienne. So the concept that we're explaining here is essentially you're trading options on U.S. equities or U.S. companies in Canadian dollars. How's that going to impact the investor at the end of the line?
But at the end of the day, investors are earning their money in Canadian dollars. That being said, our Canadian ecosystem is highly focused on 3 sectors: financials, energy, and materials. So it's quite important for everyone who's like investing our money is to have access to other sectors, and namely the tech sectors. And US is heavy in tech sectors, but of course it trades in US dollars, right? For a Canadian investor, having to convert your local Canadian currency to US dollar, it's very expensive. And even that being said, once you're investing in US dollar, then your risk is not only the underlying itself, but it's the currency. A good example, in April, in the amount of couple of days, the Canadian dollar appreciated by 3%. If you were to be invested in US dollar, then that 3% was gone. So it's not necessarily a risk that the investors is happy to take. So by offering a Canadian product traded in Canadian dollar that is cleared in Canadian dollar as well, and where the underlying the CDR is currency hedged from the get-go, then we remove these extra costs and these extra risk when deciding what you want to invest in and how you want to tackle your investments.
How is the pricing going to be affected with that as well? Obviously, with the currency difference, there has to be some sort of change as far as pricing is concerned.
Well, pricing is very similar, meaning the option will be priced based on intrinsic value, time value. Time value is basically implied volatility, time to maturity. So this is really similar. It will be 100 underlying share per option contract, just as the US version, but it's 100 shares of the CDRs, so not 100 shares of the global name or the US name. So again, pointing out to the fractional aspect of the whole mechanism, where you have 100 shares of a stock that is much cheaper in terms of pricing, allowing you to be much more flexible. From the get-go on March 3rd, we secured a strong group of market makers. So as for in the US, we have dedicated market makers with obligations that are quoting from the open to the close, two-way market on these options. And these market makers are experienced, and many of them are a major player in the US as well. So although it's a new product and the bid offer might be a bit wider than the US version, with the adoption rate increasing, and it is increasing rapidly, to be honest, we expect those markets to tighten. And one thing I'd like to add as well on that front is, as most of our market makers are very familiar with the US version, I would highly recommend investors to work limit orders in between, as it will allow market makers to leverage on the US liquidity and be able to fill our Canadian local clients at very good levels. And we've seen that already within the 2 months. and the experience for the investors seem to be a good one.
All right, Etienne, you mentioned a long, long list of very, very popular names that are available now. Where do we go next here with this offering? What can we look forward to?
Yeah, so the idea and the goal from the for the Montreal Exchange is really to partner with innovations and firms that are leading the way in terms of innovation. So CDR is one of them. There is a list of listing criteria that we have in place based on volume and share outstanding, for example, which specifically apply for CDRs. So as the popularity of the CDRs themselves is growing, and it's growing rapidly, we'll be nimble and we will list new options on these new underlyings as quickly as possible. The lineup is coming soon. We're going to add these, but I'd like to emphasize as well on the fact that not only innovation in terms of CDRs, but the exchange is really at the forefront of technology innovation. For example, last year we launched a type of multi-leg strategy where you can add a stock leg to your option leg with zero risk of execution. This again to help our investor base use the derivatives in a right way, in a properly risk way. And again, we're going to partner with all our participants in order to make sure that these innovation will be successful and will provide better tools for our investors.
If anybody wants more information, Etienne, where would you send them?
Send it over Montreal Exchange. Easy to find our website. Myself, my colleagues, happy to answer. I would recommend as well if you reach out to CIBC, strong partner on that initiative with us. And for sure, you're going to hear more about CDRs, more listing comings. CIBC launched the global ones. It would be very, very interesting in the near future to list options on some of those European names as well, or Asian names. So really just don't hesitate, reach out to us.
Yeah, we look forward to another update. Etienne Menard's head of product and equity derivatives at TMX Group in Montreal. Great to have you this morning.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks very much.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Shout out to the TMX Group and our friend out in Montreal, Etienne. As well, TMX, shout out. Great look there. You were listening very intently, I could tell, because he's talking options.
Yeah, he was talking options, and I liked how he was just kind of implementing the whole fact of using these CDRs as options, right? So, again, I like that idea, too. He was just talking about the capital requirements of what it could cost you to buy 100 shares of NVDA, and you can only essentially sell one covered call against that. But then if you were to use these Canadian CDRs, it allows you kind of to allocate more, and then you can hedge your positioning much better. And there's less capital requirements, and that's the purpose of using options, right? Is the capital requirements and how you can leverage your positions and how you can protect the downside of your position. So I really enjoyed what he had to say there.
Nice.
So ATN, yeah, very good stuff there, very informative, and now you can see that they're doing it on multiple underlyings, which is very, very interesting. And that's what we want to see. We want to see it on the most popular ones. We want to see it on the likes of Tesla, NVDA, Meta, etc. Sharif, because that's what I personally trade. Sharif doesn't, but we're still invested in these names, and 100%. If we can do it in an easier way, we can utilize these CDRs and options along with that. But what we got going on here,
what do you got?
Sharif, is I only got one more out here, 10% left. Okay. 5% left here on IBIT, and I'll take that out if we crack the low. There is a bunch of indecision on the 5-minute, but I just don't feel confident enough to take it for a long just yet. The stopping volume isn't there, and you can see that we're continuing to kind of put in these lower highs. So we need to monitor this until we sit on the backside of this trend. I'm going to be patient, wait and see. If we do construct a new low a day, I'm going to be taking out my last bit there.
Backside. All right, guys. I'm continuing to watch Pony. It's still doing the dance right now at $10. I'm of the opinion, as I was telling Joseph, if I can show the chart, boys, with this one, I'm still of the opinion that the higher low situation on every successive 5-minute candle is just kind of prefacing the breakout, an aggressive breakout above 10. Now, mind you, I know that we're already 1039 high a day, but just have a look at the 5-minute chart. We spent all of like 3 seconds there, dipped back down into the 10 low teens, 10 low single digits. So I like the look of this one's jib right now. I'm talking about PONY. I'm just concerned about the fake out breakdown. Like I was telling Joe off camera, these ones have a propensity, especially when they're this volatile and they're looking like awfully breakout prone above 10, like in this case $10, because they're showing you higher lows with that flat top in and around basically the same area, maybe 10, 20. There is a propensity to dip back down, stop everybody out, grab all the liquidity, then shoot back up and go along its merry way. So I kind of trying to avoid that eventuality, possible eventuality. I'm not saying it's a guaranteed thing. So I'm keeping an eye on this one. I'd rather get a decent amount away from 10. Obviously, I get a worse position by waiting for that, but it gives me a bit more security. So that's my thinking right now on PONY. Definitely still looking at that one. Shout out to my man, Trader to Thrive. Your friend Wolf is popping back up yet again off the volume weighted average price. Wolf's got a lot of respect today for either $4 or VWAP. Doesn't really matter because they're awfully close at the moment. What is having trouble, though, Trader to Thrive, is this 415 area, and I won't be convinced otherwise. But that gives us a potential setup that we can work or look to execute on. What is that setup? I'm talking about that ascending wedge. Look at these area lows, Trader to Thrive. Look, area low over here, another area low. Then we make another area low. You get that every successive area low a little bit higher than its predecessor. All the while, this $4.15 real area top, not the actual high a day, but the real area top is around 415. That maintains the same flat top. So we've seen this pattern so many times, especially last week. I think there were a lot of flat top breakouts on WOLF. So let's see if we can get that big boy 415 breakout. Could happen now, could happen after the show's over. It's really hard to know, okay? But, you know, these patterns are quite consistent. That's been my observations. These ascending wedge patterns, in the same way as the descending wedge pattern is very consistent as well. You're almost likely to get that flat bottom break when you get those lower highs. And that flat bottom, you kill me, bro. I love it. I love it. I always notice it now, right? That's the thing. All right, Joe, we weaseled into a new position here. Shout out to my man, Randy, who probably be proud of me, punching into Faraday frickin' futures, FFAI. Is this FFAI? No, this isn't. It is? What the hell, Adara? They changed it from Fifi to Fafi? Oh, that's, yeah, Fi. What the hell is this? Why would they change their ticker? Bizarre. Yeah, it says Faraday. You're right. You know, it says Faraday Future Intelligent. Yeah, I see that.
Davey Day Trader, the Fifi one that he was going on about?
Was he talking about that too?
Yeah,
Davey Day Trader, I like him. I like him, bro. There's lots of hate for that guy. I don't happen to hate him.
He's pure entertainment,
exactly.
Though, you know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
It's crazy because he's like, he doesn't really care. It's just like,
not at all.
He's a pure gambler. He's a gambler at heart. So if he has any way to put in any form of money, he's like, all right, I got $2 million here on FIFI. If we can get the move,
he'll take your money willingly.
He probably knows nothing about technical analysis or anything along those lines. He doesn't care. It's the gambling aspect.
Bro.
Let me get a couple million in here to see if I can get that adrenaline rush.
I like how he always gets like. People meet him in the street. They start chirping at him.
Yeah, chirping.
His responses are great though. He's always stone cold, matter of fact,
you see that one,
sarcastic.
You see that one where like the pizza owner came out?
Yes.
He's like, but he's like, he's like wearing a Star Wars shirt. It's like probably like a kid's medium. It's a grown man. He's like, buddy, your shirt's like 10 times.
I'm telling you, he's so funny.
Yeah.
And he's got his security team there so he can chirp all he wants. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, good luck, guys. So we're in Faraday. Shout out to my man Stevenson, who's dropping cash in the chat, $4.99. Thanks very much, Stevenson. Etienne, same name as our guest. Shout out to Trader TV and the whole crew. Shout out to the chat too. Best show on earth. Okay, let's probe this money. Let's probe this money. Greatest midday show, fellas. Thank you very much, Stevenson. Kind words from a kind man. Can't thank you enough. I do appreciate that. So I'm keeping my eye, guys, on FFAI, the new ticker for Faraday Future, formerly FFIE. it is, we're break even on at the moment. But I do like the possibility of this one being an ascending wedge. It has had support at the volume weighted average price. RGLS, we were talking about this one earlier. It got a big boy retracement after making that high day at 373, dip back down, and there's lots of buying here at 3.5. So is this the entry? Is this the entry that we want? So what's the deal? So if I was to get in here, what would be my move? Well, my move would be into high a day, but where would I get stopped out? Well, that $0.50 screaming my name for a stop out. That's exactly what I'm gonna do, Joe. I'm going long, we're doing it live, we're gonna take a small size here, and we can work into the position. So let's go ahead and throw in that order. And then we'll go just like that. And we're already out of the money, true to form, but that's okay. And then we'll wet the beak at 62s, and then we'll wait up for more, possibly if we can. RGLS is the ticker I'm talking about. And then I won't put my last out there. We'll see where this one wants to keep going. So Faraday, I'm involved in that. I've been involved in Wolf, I've been involved in Pony, and for the first time on the day, I am now involved in RGLS. But I want to tell you a trade that did not work out for me, because we're going to tell you about our winners and our losers. I got stopped out on plug, because it lost the volume weighted average price, and I was not going to defend this one and continue to DCA. So I got in at 111, and I lost. I got stopped out 104. It is finding support at 104, but not a trade that I had planned. We'll keep an eye out on this one. For now, we're sending you to a dare for happening now.
It's not happening quite now yet, but it could soon. Sharif, this looks like a bit, oh no, it is happening now, but I mean this flat bottom break on the SPY could be happening sooner rather than later. Look at this here, support at that 547 level and these slightly lower highs. Again, not to make any assumptions, but this market certainly has been weak today. Here's the NASDAQ looking relatively stronger, but not by much. Certainly down more on a percentage basis on the day, down about 1%. PANW here, Palo Alto, actually did have some news come through when we had our guest, but no big news here, Sharif. Basically, CNBC reporting that the company announced they've agreed to acquire Protect AI for an undisclosed sum of money. Then we have META, one of many of these Mag 7s names bouncing off the lows better than the NASDAQ or the market itself. META, Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon all reporting earnings this week. It is a huge earnings week. 180 companies, or almost 40% of the S&P 500, are reporting this week. If you're looking for some smaller names, we know Sharif's been looking at tons of these small cap gappers, including FFAI, WOLF, and RGLS. They're certainly in play today, but some of these bigger names could be in play to the downside. No Neil today, so we'll send you back to the Bash Brothers. Take it away, boys.
Thank you very much for that, Adara. As we know, our friend Neil is off taking a family day today, so we're gonna wish him a great day.
Hop in with the lesson.
There he is. There's my man.
There he is, Neil.
There's my man.
You guys wearing? Oh, I think you guys are wearing the same shirt there. Yeah.
Yeah. Close, right?
Yeah. But I got a little.
What do you got?
I got a little something for the people. Yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna pull it up here right
Fire
now. A
it
little
off,
intraday lesson. I'm channeling my inner.
You want me to get you the glasses?
I got my own, man.
Okay.
Let's go. All right, I'm channeling the inner Neelage here, guys. DJ 2AM, what's up, my guy? Good to see you here in the chat. And Gorev, John Van Source. John, if there was an award for the nicest person in the chat,
easily,
it hands down. There's a lot of beautiful people in there, but John every day just comes in and gives compliments to everybody. All right, now to hop into my new lesson of the day. All right, here it is. Okay. All right, guys. Actually, I'm not going to be able to do it half as good as he is, but what we're going to do is we're just going to elaborate on what we had going on and what our thesis was here on IBIT. So you can see I'm in there at 53.80s. My stop was at 90, so what is that? That is approximately 10 cents of risk right here, okay, guys? So what happens here, I start small. I then end up tripling the position as well. So my risk profile is still the same. I'm still risking 10 cents. So what do we get when we risk 10 cents? You can see that I'm in at 80s. So we got, what is it? So every increment, so there's a 1-to-1 to here, 2-to-1, 3-to-1, 4-to-1, 5-to-1, 6-to-1 near those lows here on IBIT, risking 10 cents. And then as we start taking some out at a 3-to-1, but you can see that we had the bulk of the position holding it for a 6-to-1 risk to reward ratio. That's why using those stops, that's why positioning is always key, especially when you're looking for those larger size moves and trades. And that's exactly what happened. Did I know it was going to go to a 6-to-1? Absolutely not, Sharif.
Okay.
But we plan for those things, right? I told you once we get to 53.60, we take some off. Once we crack the low a day, we take some more off. And then we just wait and continuously piece out some when we continue to bleed to the south side. That's just, so that was kind of the game plan. And it worked out exactly how we want to. We constructed a lower high. We now add into a winning position on something that gives us high levels of conviction. I showed you guys that indecision print on the 5-minute doji on IBIT. The market was bleeding. Everything else was adding up here. So when we have all this moving in conjunction, we can put on these trades, and then you can see we didn't start taking some off until we exactly hit that 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio. And then here you go, a 6-to-1 on that one there. That's DEFCON John 1. There you go. Exactly. Stevenson, bang. That's what it's all about. And that's what we guys try to show you. So that is Joseph's lesson of the day.
You have the option to like and subscribe. This trade has unlimited upside.
I forgot to show him that VWAP video.
The VWAP. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Let me pull this up here, guys.
I love this guy, bro. I genuinely love this guy, bro.
If you guys know, what's going on. You want to see the hottest? Julia, you in the chat, this guy can't stand it. Julia, you were asking questions about VWAP, but Sharif.
Yes, sir. Tell them, Joe.
Sharif,
they're not going to know unless you tell them.
The views went off. The views went off. We were sitting at 2,700. I told you guys, you want to see the hottest YouTube short known to Trader TV.
There is none better.
Is this one right here. Bang, look at this guy.
It's a 6 mile, bro. I'll give him credit.
Hey, we need this one on the thumbnail. Maybe Brando, we can maybe get this one here on the thumbnail.
Yeah, Brando's on a video.
He's on a big call right there. Yeah, we don't want to get him too busy. He's busy. So yeah, there we go, guys. Go check out what VWAP is and how we implement it and how we use it. It actually kind of describes the trade that I put on right there. So go hit that like and check out the video on what is VWAP.
Hey, that was a sick video, by the way. You know, I'm just
appreciate that.
But it was actually quite a good video.
Yeah,
it's a good video, though, bro. That's the way it is. All right, guys. Here we go. So this is our second loser of the day. Still very positive on the day, but we took a paper cut right now. We lost 14 pennies. Sorry, 12 pennies, quick as you like. Actually, even less, now that I see it on the side chart. We lost 10 pennies, top to bottom there. Got in at 358. On RGLS, got stopped out 348. So this one is now below the 10 exponential. If it wants to use that 50 penny area as support, I'm all ears, man. I'm fine with that. It's going to have to prove itself, though. Not going to continue to DCA. We took a couple of prints right now on Faraday futures. It's having a lot of trouble with a $1.30. So I did get that $1.30 print. But like I was telling Drop Trades in the chat, he's like, look, man, you know, I don't think he was telling me. He was just saying it in general. He was like, I don't really see a potential, too much upside, good risk to reward for Faraday. And you're not exactly wrong. What I liked here was a couple of things. Number one, I see a potential ascending wedge, a flat top break at that $1.30. All the while, I know we have a 134 high day, but we didn't spend that much time there. Really, the level to me is that $1.30 that we're having a lot of trouble clearing. Case in point, right now, we're unable to get above it. The other thing, got higher lows, so we got that ascending wedge kind of pattern. The other thing on top of that is that the dips on the ascending wedge, the pullbacks, were finding support at VWAP. So I did like it from that sense. And you had multiple, I really do mean multiple, like these, all these over here, these little wicks, they all pull back into the volume weighted average price and they make their way right back up. So FFAI, not FFIE anymore, guys, FFAI. Adara, you think they changed the ticker to include AI? They did. They totally did. That's what they said?
I looked it up. They said something how they want to better reflect their mission or what they do or whatever. So to answer your question, Sharif, I would say that was the vibe I got because I never really got the sense they were known for AI. But yeah, they said they're changing the ticker to better reflect, I guess, what they do or what their mission is. For the record, for those who do not know, they make cars. Yeah. So I guess they're going a little bit the way of the Tesla there.
Yeah, which isn't completely unusual that the AI is in cars, to be fair to them. But yeah, it doesn't really, anyway, we know what they do that for, which is so that they can catch a bit of a bid. Anyway, 352, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong chart here. $1.30 area resistance right now on FFAI. Now, you guys did bring this to my attention earlier, okay? and I dismissed it, and I'll explain why I dismissed it. AGMH. It's the best looking chart on my side charts right now. The only problem with it is it's 11 pennies. I hate these stocks. I hate them, okay? And I don't usually say I hate things often, but I hate these. I don't like them because it's so thickly traded on the ask. So many people are trying to short these to get them back to the bowels of hell from which they came. And I just don't, I hate fighting these. And there's several reasons why these sub $1 stocks are hard to trade. Number one, you've got 4 decimal places that you're posting your sell orders at. So there's just so many different levels that you can post at. I get notionally it's the same. It doesn't end up being that way. Secondly, there's a lot of algos, small cap gapper or breakout traders, gapper trade algos that just won't trade these dollars that are far below $1. So even though you see 1 bull flag, 2 bull flags, and we're not giving up the ghost. Like, look at this second bull flag over here. Didn't even come back in to test 10 pennies. It's staying well above it, right at 11 3/4, trying to break back above 12. It's just a tough trade. That's been my experience with them. I don't like trading them. It's just, you know, you always really never get the print that you want anyway. So unless this really gets going over here, I'm going to try to stay away from it. But it's up 145%. So it's earned its way onto the side chart. We'll see if we do something with this one. RGLS, as I mentioned, I got stopped out from, but I'm still interested to get back in, especially if you can start showing me higher lows and higher highs. I mean, it was destined to pull back at some point. It was so directional and just so up and to the right. Pony has had a lot of trouble with 10, lots. I mean, it's a little above 10, a little bit below. It does find itself in a bit of a range now. Now you can try to take advantage of this, right? The lower end of the range seems to be about $9.70 with maybe the money prints coming in the high 60s, with the top end of the range being essentially $10, with the top end of that range being maybe the 10 mid-teens, low teens, okay? So you've got about a 30 to 40 penny range right now manifesting on PONY. Whether this ends up breaking up or breaking down, we'll have to wait and see. Time will tell. So those are the looks I'm in right now. Let me just have a look at the quick the scanner up top over here, see if anything is moving. I think my friend Bovin was telling me about IBIO. I didn't really have a look at that. Let's see. I don't know why it's freezing. Goodness gracious, good God. IBIO. So it won't show up. No, it's too light. Too light a volume. I can see that. It's not for me, Bovin. So I'm just going to stay away from that. So the only trade I'm involved in, sadly, right now is FFAI, and I'm looking for that $1.30 break. Now, let me talk about this one for a little bit. So obviously, it's having a lot of trouble with $1.30. But if it does come back and test the volume weighted average price, I will add into this. Ooh. Okay? It's been very respectful, Joseph, whether it was the pre-market or from the open, that white line's been held. I mean, it's just kind of hard to disagree with that. All right, we took out 30. Let's see if we got the print. No, now we're waiting at 31. So it's got to cross that 131. But what I'm going to do, so it's at 131 right now. I'm going to throw orders to get dip trades into $1.27 and $1.26. We're going to sit at 2 different levels over here. We're going to go 127, right? And then we're also going to go 126. So if it does wick down, we get those prints, and by extension of that, we'll get a better dollar cost basis. So that's what I'm doing right now, Joseph. We're doing it live over here on Faraday Futures, FFAI, new ticker, boys and girls, printing $1.31.
Yeah, very smart, Pug Life and DEFCON 1. Nice work there to both of you guys. So there we go. Good stuff there. Pug Life always keeping the VIX up alongside him. And then we got DEFCON 1 with some UVXI calls. So Burr, as the volatility starts to pick up here, guys, Adara, one moment. But you can see what I want to look at here is IBIT. We have a lot of open interest at 53. Let's see if we can hold these levels. When we get back from Adara, we're going to go over some high levels of OI on the options, guys.
I like that.
As we get to today's lows here on the NASDAQ, it's worth noting we have a post coming from Charles Gasparino. The top of this post says in all caps, breaking on tariff talk. So provides a little bit of an update here. Again, Charles Gasparino, for those who are unaware, is a reporter who works frequently as a Fox Business contributor. For the most part, he basically said there's a little bit of a holdup in the Japan tariff deal talks due to concerns about their level of commitment to buy oil from the Alaska pipeline. We also have apparently Howard Lutnick, who we know is a part of this trade team. He is the Secretary of Commerce. He's still apparently a key player in tariff negotiations, and he still has been arguing that he does not think tariffs will lead to inflation. However, there now are some concerns about inflation, reportedly coming from GOP lawmakers. Last but not least, in this very long post, we have Charles Gasparino noting that apparently Wall Street CEOs are saying the next 6 to 8 weeks are going to be key for determining how big an impact tariffs will have on the overall economy. So that is just a quick summary roundup here of Charles Gasparino and his reports on tariffs coming out right now. Again, always worth noting because his posts can be and often are market moving. Back to you.
Dara, guys, so yeah, let's just go over, let's talk a little bit about the chain here and what we can possibly see. Sharif, so we noticed that last week we had a high level of open interest at that 110 strike price on NVDA. So with that being said, we closed around 111. So what is that telling us? We had a lot of market makers caught offside on this trade. Bad week during that expiration cycle, all right? So now you can see that we're starting to break down. We're actually relatively below that specific closing print of Friday. We're now trading around 107 exactly. So what is this week telling us on the options chain? It's our job to do the due diligence and say, hey, where is max pain? Where are we going to see these high levels of open interest that can act as support and resistance? I say it a lot. You heard Brando say it this morning as well, too. What is the path of least resistance? And we can actually determine this by looking at the current week's expiration cycle and going up and down our chain to see where those high levels of OI are on the put and on the call side. So we're going to do exactly that. Where is max pain on NVDA for this week's expiration cycle? And that's going to tell me approximately at 121. 121, we have 78,000 currently open contracts. So you can imagine, okay, we got a lot of short sellers from that specific strike price waiting for those contracts to expire worthless, so you have the ability to collect the full amount of premium those contracts will expire. So let's go down. Before we get all the way to 121, we need to keep our eyes through 110. Again, with last week being said, it was the highest amount of open interest. But one thing that I will notice is that through 106 to 110 last week, there was a significant heavier ladder through those strikes. We're not necessarily seeing that right now. Are we going to get to 121 this week? No, that is not exactly what I'm saying. But what I want us to keep an eye out for and look at is through 110 to 113 is where we might see a significant of overhead resistance, and that can explain why this morning we open up around 110 and then now are continuously moving to the south side. So 110, 38,000 open contracts, 111, 36,000 open contracts, Sharif, 112,
Bang.
20,000, and then we get to that 113 strike price where we have the second largest amount of open interest on this week's expiration cycle with 73,000 open contracts. Now, you can say, Joe, that sounds slightly complicated. What's going on there? Okay, well, we got to look at this as resistance. That path is going to be more difficult to follow. It's going to be harder for participants to push through all these specific levels. So what is the path of least resistance? And you can see it displayed here this morning. It is to the downside. You have to go all the way to 105 and to 100 exactly to see anything relatively as strong and as large as what we've seen through 110 to 113. So the path of least resistance this week in NVDA may be to the downside, Sharif.
Yeah, man, that absolutely makes sense. Okay, I'm going to talk about my positions in a second. But this individual by the name of Master E says we're going to miss the move on Rivian. So I messaged you, Master E. I'm not really sure what you're looking at, brother. So let's do it. Let's do it live right now. He said there is a head and shoulders pattern here, possibly on Rivian. All I see is lower lows and lower highs. So when I look at the daily, that's what stands out at me right away. I mean, it really tries. And this is a car company that I happen to like, so I'm not disrespecting this. It's really having trouble, though. I mean, maybe some higher lows there, a little bit of a compression pattern, but that's a bear flag or bear pennant, if anything. I need to start seeing some higher highs on a closing basis on Rivian. Otherwise, you know, I'll just continue to wait. So Rivian for me on the daily is nothing. What's it like on the 4? Let's look at the 4 hour super quick over here. Yeah, it kind of feels like we're in the same business, that downward channel. Anytime we end up making highs, they always end up being lower highs possibly. So I don't know what you're seeing, brother, but message me. Let me know what your situation is there with Rivian, because I don't see what you're seeing. All right, we're doing it live here on FFAI. I've got one more beak wetter on this one. We just took out 32, so we took out 30s, 31s, 32s. Now we're going to wait with the last beak wetter to see what the high day is. Currently, it is $1.34. That's the high day, but you know, that's obviously can change. So we're going to keep an eye out on that one. I got into a new position as well. I got back into Wolf because yet again, it pulled back into the volume weighted average price and, you know, and bounced. So let's go and take out some here at 3s. I'm going to cancel my order at 5s, and then we're going to wait for 8. So let's see what the situation here is with our friend Wolf. It's up 23%. Keeps finding support at VWAP, but be careful with this one, especially I saw you guys in the chat saying earlier, I don't really see the upside, or that was Faraday, excuse me. But I think this is kind of the same thing here with Wolf in that you could be a little bit concerned about the upside because you keep getting in lower highs, right? So if your area crest was that high day at 422, okay, so that's your starting point to base the lower highs off. And then we have another lower high over here at the candle on the 5-minute that manifested at 1140. That took us to about maybe 416, and then we keep putting in lower highs. So let's see if we can get some higher highs. That's the bad side of the equation. The good side is we get higher lows. So where's this one gonna end up finding the resolution? Is it gonna be a break below 390, or is it gonna be a break above 415? We shall find out. We're break even on it now, 1 penny in the money actually. So that's the situation. That's what I keep. That's what I've got my eye on. Obviously, I've got my eye on Pony. Executed quite well on this one, but now it's in a prolonged bull flag. You can see that big move up from $9 where we were involved, and then into 10. We're very consolidative at 10. As I mentioned before, the range on Pony seems to be at least about 970 to the downside, or the high mid-60s for the money fills, and then $10 to the upside, or the 10 single digits for the money beak wetters. So we'll see what the situation is with that, keeping my eye on both of those. RGLS continues to put in lower lows and lower highs. So just because you got this one wrong doesn't mean you need to fight it to exact revenge on it. And I know I was guilty of that many times. Today I won't be one of those. Will not be one of those days. So the only time I will execute again on RGLS is a long at $3.34, 33 cents, essentially 3 1/3. That's where the volume weighted average price is. I won't try to catch the 20. It's already below the 10 EMA. So what stands in between it right now and VWAP is that 20, and I won't be basing any trades off that 20 exponential. I'm talking about RGLS up 26%, was quite a good move up in a, you know, what we call this the elevator up, but now it is become quite consolidative. So keeping my eye on this, we got FFAI and we got Wolf. We'll see which one. We're out of the money right now on Wolf, doing quite well on FFAI, waiting for that high day. I won't be taking any more here, Joseph.
All right, yeah, guys. All right, so if we can pull up my chart here real quick, guys, so you can see it live. We're gonna take out our last bit of IBIT here. I mentioned that we are waiting for that lower day. We have now surpassed that. We're south of what our primary target. So good stuff. You're gonna see me take out my last little bit right here, and there it is. We're all out of IBIT. You can see that on the positions board. I have nothing going on. So a really, really nice trade, guys, from a risk to reward standpoint, and pretty good execution. We can obviously always go heavier. That's kind of the primary goal, especially, again, hindsight 2020. I understand that, but when we crack through some of these key levels, it's just like, okay, continuously add. And I think that's something I'm getting significantly better at, is just adding to the positions that are working. And I think, thanks to everybody in the back. Like, this is the beauty of a prop floor. I know when I first started out, I was trading on my own at home. I would do it once in a while, but then I had the likes of Jose, Brankles, Wayner, Obi, Katina Man, even you, Shreefer, just like, yeah, just start pushing a little bit more size and adding to those positions that you know that are working for you and are going to continuously to work. So that's that one. You can see that we added here on HOOD. And then we got stopped out of about 33% on that break even. trade right there, but IBIT, fairly good execution from top to bottom, holding through, waiting for those stop losses to come into play. They weren't there. I'm just like, sit in the trade. It's either going to work or it's not. Don't try to micromanage things. Don't look at every up and down tick because you'll go crazy at some point if you do so, and that's when you tend to start to micromanage some positions. So there we go. Okay, cool. Thank you. There it is. That's the IBIT trade. Am I doing it or is? Okay, yeah. 1 second. So yeah, there's that, guys. So really nice trade. We'll continue to hold on. Actually, I don't have anything to hold on to anymore, but we'll look for something. If there's going to be any form of potential bottoms here, then maybe we'll look to grab some. But again, you've seen that indecision on IBIT. And I thought there would be a potential long right there, but the underlying is relatively weak today. So we'll have to keep an eye out on specific setups and be a little bit more patient. So, all right, guys, we all know the saying, big opportunity comes with big risk. But what if it wasn't true anymore? Trade the Pool is redefining what risk means for traders. No more risking your life savings to prove yourself in the market. They give you access to the company capital, up to $200,000 to trade real stocks. No CFDs, and your downside is limited to a single one-time fee that starts at just $47. That means no blowing up your personal account. You get to trade with serious buying power, all while knowing your loss is capped. Trade the Pool now offers an unlimited time during the evaluation phase. You get the freedom to trade your way with no time pressure. Visit tradethepool.com. You see how far the $47 can take you. And I think that's a great way to start. There's no beating around the bush or getting around paying the market tuition. So that's a perfect opportunity for you guys to just go and test it to see if you're trading sim at home and you want to kind of exercise using larger amounts of buying power. Go check out Trade the Pool, and if you like it and you pass, then congratulations. But we're going to see what Adair's up to, guys.
Keep an eye on PDD here. Worth noting, CNBC. This report just came out, but I guess it started here over the weekend. CNBC informing that Chinese e-tailer, online seller here, Temu, has started adding import charges of roughly 145% in response to Trump's tariffs. So this fee, started popping up here over the weekend. But now, for example, or at least is pointed to in the CNBC article, a summer dress on Temu initially sold for $18.47 will now cost $44.68. So Temu here, in response to Trump's tariffs, adding import charges that add up to roughly 145%. Keep an eye on some of these Chinese ADRs. This is not new. Again, these started popping up over the weekend, reportedly, but this is just being reported by CNBC now. So be aware here. These Chinese, Temu, for example, charging import charges of 145% to respond to Trump's tariffs. Back to you.
Okay. So yeah, the internet is a bit down, guys. The chat is down. The chat's disconnected. Everything's down. We'll just continue. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything here. All my positions are done. Are you good? Yeah. Now I think we're okay now.
I'm back.
Let's see. Is the level 2 moving? Yeah, we're good. We're doing it live, baby.
The only thing that matters
we're back live,
is the
baby.
stream. Are we still okay up here on the
Tell
stream
them, Joe.
here? Please wait while we try to connect you. Okay, there we go.
Oh, yeah. Still waiting.
We're successfully
getting
connected. All right, we're back, baby.
Yeah, we're there we go. Now we're getting some messages. I'm seeing everything live again. All right, we just got disconnected there for a second, guys. All right, we're back though, super quick. We're involved in a couple of trades right now. Your friend FFAI, new ticker, guys, FFAI. This one, we're at the high data, $1.32. That's the last print that I've got, so we'll keep an eye out on this one. The other one that I've got, Wolf, we're gonna get stopped out if it breaks 94s. This is a VWAP trade, and it's not gonna be anything other than a VWAP trade. I'm not gonna try to make it into something it's not. So if we get stopped out, we get stopped out. We look for the next one. So keeping an eye right now on Wolf as this one dances again at the volume weighted average price, looking for this one to bounce. And then FFAI, I mean, I don't know. Do I take it out here, or do we wait for that $1.34 high daybreak? So we'll keep an eye out on that. Nothing doing right now for me as I watch Pony continue to drop, guys. So we were waxing poetic, to use an Adara term, that this range was $9.70 to the low side, $10 to the high side. You get that quick wick down into $9.50, almost $9.50 to the penny, and then rockets right back up into that 9.75. But it looks like the selling now coming in a little bit here more aggressively than I anticipated here on PONY as it drops back down again into the low 70s. This is the level. I mean, this is the level that we were waxing poetic about. So are we going to take it here? I mean, if I take it here, I can just give it 10 pennies, Joseph, right? Like that can be a situation. But we can get stopped out quick as you like, too. Right back down again into 968. So it is losing the bid a little bit over here. And okay, so as I say that, I made to eat my words as it pops right back up into that $0.75 area. This is the best trade is past this part and pony now. I would suggest to you that the better trades with these small cap gappers are on the elevator up on a micro pullback. That has been my observation now, almost trading them every day for almost 8 months. The best trade for these ones is where it's aggressively moving up and then it pulls back in just a skosh, and then you pick it up off that micro pullback. And that's what we did over here. That's what we did over here. And that's what we did over here. I don't want to be taken in this consolidative range because it does look like it is putting in a bit of a rounded top. That ain't the move for me. So I'm going to stay clear of this one, although I've really got my eye on it, and we'll see what this one does. I did get stopped out for a small loser here on WOLF, so we'll give a little bit back. Positive still on it. Did add into that 1 penny lower than I originally got in, but a very tight range right now on WOLF. I'm keeping an eye also on RGLS. Seems to have found a little bit of support here for whatever reason at the 20. It's still putting in lower highs, though. So if this one can change up its tune a little bit, start putting in higher lows and higher highs, maybe a print above that 355, certainly get involved in that, but it is not giving me the opportunity quite yet to get into that, so I'm going to pack my patience here. Let's see what else we got. I haven't said anything about the Meg, nor do I really want to, so I'll leave that for you, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate that, brother. Yeah, Meg, I see the same narrative, guys. The weakest being weak today, and it's dragging the overall market again, just from a heavy weighted standpoint. If we can pull up my screen, we're just going to go through. You've seen Obi do it. You see Katina Man do it. Just kind of the general trade ideas. I traded Robinhood. That wasn't on the list, but IBIT and Tesla were there, and I was looking for the continuation here in PLTR, but we never got that today, and then we had no macro data. So there you go. That's that hood, and then we'll just continue to document. And guys, hopefully you guys are doing this as well too. Just document. Stevenson ATN said, I don't know if it was his personal journal or actually like his trading journal, but he said, yeah, he was just going back. It's his best work. He loves it. He can go back to see how he was feeling at a specific time and a specific place as well too, wherever you consider writing that one here. But here we go. IBIT starting to slowly climb back now. I do like the amount of indecision prints that we're putting at the lows. I mentioned that high, those high levels of open interest right at 53 as well too. So you can see that we almost got that bottom wick right here. 53.15 is that low a day for right now. So that strike price really coming in handy there, guys. Now let's see. Okay, we already went over the bottoms. Let's see if we can find any potential bottoms in TSLA, because I think that's going to be one of the more popular names, considering how everybody loves trading it and where we were sitting at from a daily standpoint. So on this week's expiration cycle, I don't see anything overly standout-ish. Maybe 250 could be a potential bottom, but that's 25 points away roughly, a little bit more than that. So nothing that stands out. 270, again, you're going to get that whole dollar at 9.7 thousand open contracts. But I think just to look at this daily setup here, guys, and exactly what I was looking at, I went over it earlier as well, but just how we opened up at the top of the range, right? So you can see on this red candle, we opened up at the top of the range, and I was looking, if the market was strong today, I do believe that Tesla would have just gone for a nice rip, maybe even up to north of 300 there, but we didn't get that. You can see that we have formed multiple bases here as well too. So this 223 level, you can see touch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 touches roughly at that specific level here in Tesla. If we crack that, there's most definitely going to be some more downside. We don't want that, especially if you're long this name. I told you guys I'm completely out of it and looking to grab other underlyings, but as of right now, I'm out of Tesla, waiting for some more positive news. I like this Austin stuff coming out, but it's unfortunate that the earnings were absolutely hot garbage, all right? So that is with Tesla, and let's see what else we got going on. What are you guys looking at in the chat? Sorry I haven't been messaging too much. If there's anything you specifically want me to go over, well, I will do so. So just put it in there. We'll go over a couple names for you guys and take it from there. Gorev, look at the wick on the 3-minute on SPY. Still feel like a day where it can be blown past, tight stop, long. My guy Gorev is long on the 3-minute. Let's see what he's cooking up here and what he's got. I don't got it on that platform, but that is okay. I don't have it on that platform, but that's okay. See, one thing to note is I don't see any specific stopping volume, so this could be a breath in the underlying, in the overall index here, and then maybe we crack that low. I mean, it's been an extremely weak session. NVIDIA's down, Tesla's down, Hood is now down, Amazon broke through some key support levels, so those big names being extremely weak, and you can see it here reflected in the overall market, Sharif.
All right, we're taking out local highs here on FFAI. Still holding a piece here. So the high of the day is $1.34. We're at $1.33. Let's see if this one wants to squeeze maybe a little bit above. We'll get maybe a 40 print, a high 30s, something in and around that. I'm trying to be patient here with Faraday futures up nicely on the day, about 26 2/3%. Some hidden selling here at the $1.33, but the level I'm most concerned about is that high of day, that $1.34. And you can kind of see levels posted here on the level 2, 109, 109. That's likely a market maker post right there. Usually you see that posted on multiple gateways for the same size. It's really that $1.35 where you can see big boy size posted over 1,000 lots there, which isn't saying much, but about a dollar stock, but it's at least given us something off which to base, strength or weakness of the bid or the ask, so we'll keep an eye on that. Still printing 133, nothing for me to do here. Pony just popped back up. It's saddled back up above that $10 area. So let's see if this is going to be more of the range, right? We were at the lower end of the range now in the 70s, and here we are again in the higher end of the range, but we're still locked within that same range, even though it's a big boy green candle there that took us from the top or from the bottom to the top. But it was the same look over here when we got into that that 10-10 area, and we dropped with the same aggression down into the low 70s, 970s that is. So I don't want to be quick to want to jump into this. It is bull flagging. When the breakout comes or the breakdown, your guess as good as mine, but we're still not out of that range quite yet. At least that's the way I see it. Good look for Pony, though, on the day. I mean, it's the best-looking small-cap gapper, bar none.
Can I say something
Absolutely.
About that? So one thing to note, sorry, I can't point at Sharif's shit. Maybe I'll pull it up. What
you want me to talk?
Yeah, Pony. So I was just going to say, look at that liquidity grab there when you break through the zones. This one right here. See, look at it as you punch through. Look at that liquidity grab. That's why when we say it's like when you put in your stops, you want to go slightly below the zone because that was just a liquidity 100%. Grab before it went higher, right? So what you want to do is you don't want to have it right at that base until it's already moved in your direction. You want to have it a little bit below those specific support and resistance.
100% agree with that. 100% agree with that. But these ones, you know how they act, right? They'll get you, they'll wick you in and out.
Exactly.
Like these liquidity grabs. So we'll keep an eye out on that. I'm not seeing any small cap gappers other than the ones I've already spoken about, guys, that are to my liking right now. I'm just having to look at the side chart, or sorry, the scanner on the top screen. IBIO's up nicely percentage-wise on the day, but the volume just isn't there. 1.3 million. Boyle, where's my man Jay Lee at? Jay, where are you at, my man? Your stock Boyle's up 10%. So Nat Gas obviously on one today. We'll see exactly what the situation is at. I'll have a look at that in a second. But there goes Pony. Okay, so now we're breaking out. This is what I'm talking about right now, guys. This is where we want to get the micro pullback, okay? So it's exploding to the high side. See how it broke down before it exploded up? That's your giveaway right there. Well, it's Joseph. This is part and parcel of the small cap gapper trades. The algos will take your money before we move on to where we were going to go anyway. So this is that breakdown, that what we call a specialist breakdown, stops everybody out who's been trading the range, and then rocket up we go. So the high day now 1068. Let's wait for a micro pullback, maybe into that 10 and a third, maybe into that 10 and a fifth. Let's see exactly what the situation is with this one. Don't want to be desaying too much into this. Anything below 10, and then we're gonzino. We're not in it yet. I'm just giving you my future plan here. If this loses $10, I won't be DCAing into VWAP at 9.25 or anything like that. So the strength right now is in one stock in small cap gapper world, and it goes by the ticker PONY. Fantastic look on the day. Whether we can execute on this little breakout here is going to be a different story. Let's get involved now. Into 1040 we go. Definitely a big buyer at 1040, but it's losing the bid. No, I got to show this. So 1040 is losing the bid quite aggressively right now. Let's see if we can pop back up. So 10 high 30s now, Joseph. 10 low 30s. So this one is definitely not holding up. Is this the micro pullback we're waiting for? This looks like an ugly topping tail candle right now on this bad boy. Is there a bid that's going to step up here? I mean, I'm not seeing anything stepping up. 1032, this is the bid creep, as Adair calls it, where it just moves incrementally down. It doesn't have a buyer holding us back up. Maybe at 32s here we got one, but it looks like we're losing it, and we are losing it. Look at it, continue to drip back down. Do we have anybody stepping in here, baby? Let's go. Let's go. Let's see if we can get something. All right, we're popping. Nah, this isn't it, Joseph. No. That was the move. That was the initial move, unless we're going to hold up 10 here. So that's what I'm looking at right now. Continue to do it live. Let's see what we can get. Let's just see if we can pop back up here. Yeah, it's just dropping in volume. It doesn't have the umph right now. So we'll have to wait for it. What do you got?
Yeah, same thing. I don't know why it keeps on, YouTube keeps switching my accounts, putting me from one thing to another. But yeah, here we go, guys. Nice balance we're getting here in IBIT. I really want to take a long on Tesla, but the issue is that we just had that failed breakout. So we'll go over this trade one more time. You can see enter here, add to the position, pop, 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 and then final out right there, right at the bottom. So that was a face slapper, as my man, Katina Man, would like to acknowledge. How was this swim, Katina Man? Did you use your paddles today or what?
My man.
Let's go, man. So did you put in 2 kilometers this time, not 1.2? Are you doing a different watch? All right.
Hey.
All right, but let's pull up Tesla and see what we got going on, guys. I do like the potential bottoming signals here, and you can see them on displayed here on the 5-minute. So again, this is a really nice indecision. The only thing that I'm going to note is that look at the volume signature. That volume by time profile is not telling us exactly what we want to see. So we have to be a little bit more patient, wait for that retest. I'm going to pull up the options chain to see if we have high levels of open interest around these lows here. So that's going to put us around 272.5. What are the chances of that? 272.5. Nothing really sitting there, but at 270, we got about 9,000 current open contracts at that specific level. On the put side, again, don't forget we're not looking at the call side right now. We want to see what the put side is displaying and look for those key levels of support. So I'm going to try to one more attempt here on Tesla throughout the day. I'm going to wait for a retest of these levels, let that hold, and then maybe we can get that move back towards the volume weighted average price. That would be a primary target, but with a market that is that weak, it might be a little bit of a push. But again, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, and that's what I was referring to earlier. I would rather you be sitting in the trade, get stopped out or hit that target, or sitting on the sidelines being like, oh man, I wish I took that trade. And that happened to me today. It's happened to me before.
Get him,
and
Joe.
It's not going to be the last time that it's happened to me. So the more that we can eliminate that, the better we can kind of gain that level of consistency. And that's exactly what we're trying to do. Find a system that's repeatable, where you can come in day after day and do it. Katina Man does it. Sharif's steady. Are you in the club? Are you in the club right now?
No,
all right. I thought
that would have been nice.
I thought you were going to be in the dollar club. But that's it. That's the name of the game. We're waiting for this pullback here in TSLA, and then we're going to look to get involved via TSLL, guys.
Good luck there, Joseph. All right, we did a little bit of okay here. Not bad. It's definitely not as good as the first trades here on your friend Pony. But your friend Pony there just didn't have the continuity, so we scalped out, just a few shekels there on this fourth trade. All have been positive on your friend Pony, but this one doesn't look like it's got the same. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we'll get a 10 retracement and it'll rock it back up. So we'll keep an eye on Pony. It's certainly not going anywhere from the side chart, but we're doing it freaking live here on FFAI. Randy, where are you? Oh, he's gone. I want to tell him there's a new ticker for his friend Faraday. So we got out at the high of the day there on Faraday futures, $1.35. It's up 28 and 30 28 and 30 pennies. 28.3% on the day. Good look right now on Faraday. I set up again at this one on a dip back into, I want to say, that $1.30. Randy, your friend Faraday Futures got a new ticker. So if you're going to search up Faraday, it's FFAI now. They had to have AI in their name, Randy, right? I mean, just IE wasn't cutting it. They got to put AI, right? So Faraday Futures under a new ticker there, Katina, man, in case you're wondering, which he's not, but it's fine. We're going to tell him anyway. So 135 high day right now on Faraday. Now, we're still involved in this hot garbage. Wolf, we're 1 penny out of the money, but I'm feeling like this one should just be flattened out. We keep putting in lower highs. We're not putting in higher lows. That's the thing. We're holding the same area low right now on WOLF. So this is having me feel like this is going to be a flat bottom break. And I don't want to be involved in a flat bottom break unless I'm taking something short. So I'm really unsure. And it's having a lot of trouble with 4. Like, I mean, the fact that I even got that 4 print probably was just a quick liquidity grab. It's having a lot of trouble clearing 4, and that was not the case with it earlier. WOLF up 21.5%. That's my man Defcon Juan Sharif. That's like the 2000s when they named everything something. Yeah, I do remember that. I was like, remember everything was, I mean, I think Apple obviously started it, but yeah, you're right. I mean, we kind of went through this before where everybody changed their name to have something to do with crypto. And then if you recall, once chat got released in November or October of 2022, in the winter and the spring of 23, everybody was changing their names to either AI, to have something to do with AI, or the descriptions of their companies. Yeah, it's just kind of what happens in the market, you know what I mean? Like, they try to take advantage of tailwinds, and I don't think this company is any different, so, especially with the luck they've been having lately. All right, back to Pony, guys. We're still not giving up the ghost. Now, when you look at this on the 5-minute chart, I'm talking about PONY, every successive candle since that bottoming tail candle we printed at 1225 on the 5-minute chart is a higher low. The current 5-minute chart, though, does not have a higher high. We got to take out that 1068 to take out that high, and we might be doing it now. We're doing it live, and there it is, a new high at day, $10.79 on your friend Pony. It's not as parabolic as it was earlier, but it's still giving you that consistent, reliable pattern of higher highs and higher lows. But take your money with these ones when you can get it. They're around for a good time, not a long time. Don't be holding these like a Tesla trade or an Amazon trade. It is not the same thing, okay? And I really want to say that because a lot of people complained last week that I would be taking these trades and then they'd be losing money on it, but I'd be profitable. Well, how come? Because you're holding it too long, right? It's not that kind of trade, okay? If you got your own way of trading these that allows for that, I don't. So my style is quick in, quick out. We take levels and we get the hell out of there. What do you got, Joe?
Yeah, just reading what the chat is up to. A lot of interesting stuff there. Duke W. We'll take a look at Duke. Sorry, we'll take a look at WW. But one thing I just want to note is that we kind of missed this. The ship has sailed on that Tesla trade right now. I'm not going to get into it even if we have a retest. I'm really precise with my entries and I missed it. So this was the signal on the 5-minute that we want to look to get involved in here. 962, and you can see that we're climbing significantly higher, getting a little bit of a bounce in the market, which is being led by TSLA. That is the good look, but I went over my trades again. I know a lot of people in the chat want to take a look at Bull. I know Bull was a popular one, and WW. Don't think I forgot about you guys because that is definitely not the case. So we'll go over what you guys are suggesting and what you are trading, because I'm curious to know. This is Robinhood. We don't want that one. Let me pull up another one here to see if we can get tapped into Bull. There we go. Okay, it's being a pain. We'll go over here. Oh, wow. This is not a good look. Now down to 15 here on Bull. Geez. Yeah, that's the thing about some of these IPOs, right? Like we had the Newsmax. What was the other one? See something. I forget what it is, but CoreWeave, right? Yeah, CoreWeave. CRWV, and not a good look, guys. So you can see that with Bull, we traded all the way to a high of 79 and change, and are trading at approximately 14 right now. That's an 80% haircut. I truly, truly hope that you guys weren't buying all the way up here, especially with some of these IPOs. It is not a good look. We'll pull back up Newsmax as well to see what that ticker's up to. It was hot for a couple of days, and then at some point it's just like, all right, see you later. Going all the way from 263 closer to 270. Sorry, guys, 265 we'll call it, down to $22. Like, oh my days, that's some tough look. 91% haircut. Katina, man, that's like my Aurora Cannabis position right there, but except for in a span of a couple of weeks. So yeah, really, really tough look. And then CoreWeave, we'll take a look at that one, CRWV. That one wasn't as bad. As you can see, we're sitting on the backside of this trend right here. 63 down to 40. Not horrible, still down 33% roughly. Again, tough look, but let's see what Adair's up to, guys.
This part of the show is brought to you by VinFast. VinFast closed 2024 with strong financial and operational performance, signaling big progress on its global EV journey. Q4 revenue reached roughly $678 million US, up 70% year over year and 34% quarter over quarter, reflecting robust demand and improving sales execution. Over 97,000 EVs were delivered in 2024, including over 53,000 in Q4 alone, a 192% year-over-year increase, underscoring traction across core and new markets. Progress on global expansion. 322 EV showrooms and 322 e-scooter showrooms now operational worldwide as of March 2025, including both VinFast-owned and dealer-operated locations. Green mobility ecosystem. Continued deployment of V-Green charging infrastructure and growth of GSM electric ride-hailing services in key markets to drive long-term EV adoption. Back to you.
Thank you. Yeah, cover it.
Pony's really going, guys. Here we go. Now we're knocking the door of 11, 1097 high a day. 1097 high a day right now on Pony, 1097, zigging and zagging with 1088. The breakout level does seem to be like it is $11 right now. So it's at that 1097. So let's see if this one ranges in the way that it did between 10 and 9. It's got an aggressive 4-candle pattern on the 5-minute chart, taking it up to 1097. The low of that 4-candle pattern is 970. So $1.30 of range within 4 candles on the 5. But it's got a nice breakout here. Let's see if it comes back in, maybe test that 50 penny area. That out I had initially at 1040, it actually moved up a couple of shekels above that into 1050. So we know 1050, not only a price action, psychological potential area of support, but definitely price action support. Previously resistance at $10.50. Let's see if this one breaks 11 first or comes down to test that 11 or that 1050 first. Wow, big move up again. Here we go, showing 93s, now 94s on the ask, and it's a 1 penny spread, 95 right now. This one definitely looks like it's going to at least wick up above 11, if not, wicking up, then dropping back down and zigging and zagging between 10 and 11 for a little bit. So we'll see what the situation is with this one, but Pony's doing it freaking live right now. It's taking out levels. It's 1 penny off the high day. Did we print a new high day? No. We touched that 1097, dropped 10 pennies. Why? Either people are shorting or profit taking at that level. Can't be rocket science, obviously. So we'll keep an eye out on that. Separately, I'm taking prints here again on Wolf. So we'll go 2 for 3 on this one. We got cut up for a little small one over here with this VWAP trade because we didn't give enough room. Got right back in, and now we're 10 pennies on the money on a $4 name. Let's see if we can take out more over here. I'd like to wait for the high day, but I'm very cognizant of the lower highs on WOLF, so maybe I shouldn't be overstaying my welcome. Back to Pony. Again, that 1097 stays as the high of the day. It's a 2 penny spread now, so opening up a little bit, not by much, but it's something that you have to notice, because if you get into these levels and the spread is opening up, my experience is that it usually retraces. So that's a situation right now, Joseph. This thing was up like 20 some odd percent when we started yapping about it. It's doubled that now into the mid 50s, likely probably going to hit 60 if we take out that 11. Good day. Bovin. Question on Pony. Does 1 minute chart better to trade and 5 minute for levels to get in? I just execute and trade now on the 5. So whereas before I was charting on the 5, I'm now just charting and executing everything on the 5. Okay, so Bovin, it's an $11 high day now. There's a huge seller. I saw it on the level 2. There we go. Sorry, in the time and sales, but we took them out. 11:04 now, high day. As I figured, though, a little bit above 11, a little bit below, but it's not giving up the ghost. It's not like it's getting up to 11 and then flushing back down 30 pennies. So there are buyers here in the high 10s. Let's see how this one ends up doing. But to answer your question, Bhavin, I mean, I used to use the 1 all the time. I mean, I have no problem with the 1. But now I'm just, so used to charting on the 5. I'm like, let me just execute on the 5, and I've just kept it that way. But I used to chart on the 5 and execute on the 1. That's no longer the case. I just chart and execute on the 5. Keeping an eye here on Pony. Interrupt me if you want, by the way.
Yeah, brother.
Because this this is parabolic here, Joseph. As parabolic as it's going to get on the day for small caps, because really nothing moving like this one right now. Anyway, I'm talking about PONY, guys. Again, please understand, these are around for a good time, not a long time. So trade them carefully, trade them with precision, and trade them with a freaking plan. Please, Joseph.
Please. Yeah, very well said. And kind of just leading into what Duke in the chat, I personally wouldn't be trading this name, right? It's 44 cents. I think this is more Sharif's realm. But again, this price action isn't something that I would necessarily want to be involved in. Again, totally subjective, my friend. If this is what you're good at trading, then by all means continue to do so. We'll do some basic TA on it because you've asked multiple times kindly for us to take a look at it. And you said we can tap into 45. We're getting close there. So, again, excuse me, from a liquidity standpoint, no thank you, all right? So, but holding this trend line relatively well. WW, if you guys are interested in that.
He shoved him.
Did he?
He shoved him. Dubois shoved him.
But bro, it took, wait, he was like, that was so slow motion.
It was
he like put his hands on
Well, Dubois
him
is like a bit of, he
yeah,
talks slow and stuff, too. He's a bit of a, he's an interesting guy. Great fighter.
He's gonna get,
gonna get knocked out.
Beat again by Usyk. That guy's.
That's a great fight coming, though,
Yeah,
Joe. I
yeah,
want to
yeah.
see that number 2, baby.
Yeah, and again, I heard this. I got to go out and check out this Eubank and Conor Benn fight. I heard that was a fantastic one. Going for Canada Fighter of the Year, apparently. So.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. One of the fights of the year. So we'll check out that one.
I like.
For sure. But yeah, guys, let's see this name. That's the thing. So okay. So let's talk a little bit about options, all right? Because I was getting ready to construct a couple trades here. If certain scenarios happen, you heard Obi was going on if and when scenarios this morning, and this is exactly what essentially I had going on in my mind. So if we sat on the top of this, on the backside of this channel here, guys, and when we do, so when we sit on the backside of this channel, what I'm going to do, and if it's the case that we end up sitting on this backside of the channel, I wanted to start allocating some options contracts because I believe that we could bounce significantly higher, maybe into the mid-20s. But I don't want to go just straight out buying contracts right away. I want to hedge my position and then have the ability to remove that hedge and capture the full amount of the move as much as possible without having to worry about my short contract kind of hindering the max potential profit of the trade. So essentially what I had constructed is I put an order out. It wouldn't have got filled. I actually canceled it this morning because I'm going to just buy these contracts straight out. So I've kind of swayed from what I was initially going to do to the point of, okay, when we sit on the backside of this trend, I'm just going to start buying contracts. I'm not going to vertical this trade. And I'm once around 110 or whatever it may be when we sit on the opposite side is when I have the ability to just buy at the monies and just buy a couple of them. I'm already long some shares, so now I can hedge my position slightly better if I buy these contracts, and then I can buy some shorter-term dated contracts just in case it doesn't work out right away. So that was my game plan, was to originally vertical NVDA on the backside of this channel, but then to remove the hedge as it started to work. But now I'm actually just gonna flat out buy the contracts when we sit on the backside of this channel and just allow the stock to appreciate and those contracts to appreciate at maximum potential. But then I also have a bid out here on IBIT. On Bitcoin, I do believe that this might be the move if we have the ability to come into the middle of this zone, mid-90s, or sorry, the mid-90s closer to 100, higher 90s, closer to 100, 105, then I'm going to add contracts and not just shares to this position, and I'm not going to hedge them just yet or anything along those lines, because if we really start to get the ball moving here in Bitcoin, I do believe that mid 100s, 150 to 200K, once this previous high has been breached, that we can reach those levels, and I want to be able to take advantage of those moves via contracts.
Man, this is going, Joseph. It's cleared 11 now. It's an 1120 high a day right now. I just tried to get back in. It ran without me. So once it cleared 11 with that aggressive candle there, that blew through 11. Here we go, 1123 high day. I tried to punch in. I was long. I tried to punch in long at 12s. It wouldn't drop below 15. I didn't chase it, which was probably the wrong idea, because the fact that it wasn't dropping below 15 means that there was an aggressive buyer in and that level. How long that buyer hangs out there? Here we go, 15 again, so you guys can see what I'm seeing. Now it loses the bid, and now it's way down below 11. Is this an opportunity, or is this a topping tail candle to get back in? I don't know, man. I don't know. These ones, how many times am I gonna execute on this one positively before it actually ends up turning on me? So the more you execute, in my opinion, on it, the more chances you have of giving back over here. But it is actually, it's holding 11 well, man. Let's call a spade a spade. It got up 23 pennies above 11, and now it's right back down to that level. You can get in here. I want to get in here and then give it to like 88s or maybe 1090. You just risk 15 pennies at that level. It's got a bigger topping tail candle, but that's the bad side. The good side, this current 5-minute candle is a higher low. Not only a higher low, it's a higher high and a higher low above the previous 5-minute candle. So a good look there. We'll keep an eye out on this one. Separately, guys, I've got one beak wetter left here on WOLF at 9s. It's showing me 8s. I can flatten out here. It did reject 10s last time. There we go. Now we got 9, so good look right there on WOLF. We'll take out that print there. Pleased as dang punch, as Adair likes to say. Back to PONY, above 11 again. I mean, I feel like I should be executing on here and then just giving it to like 80s, 10 80s, 10 mid 80s, 10 high 70s, something like that, risking about 20 pennies on this one, because this one looks like it's zigging and zagging for a possible $12 break now. Well, I mean, obviously it's going to have to get through 11.5 first, but definitely a seller here in the high single digits, 1109, 1108, keeping this one a little bit down, up 58% now. As I mentioned earlier, guys, I don't have too much data on Pony, sadly. Trade ID has given me a float of 280 million. My platform doesn't have any data on float. I have no data on short float either on any platform, so won't be able to communicate that to you, but we shall see how this one ends up going. So I'm all out of my trades now, guys. I'm flat right now. We got out of that last little bit there on Wolf, but that, it continues to go up after that, so I feel a little bit bad about that one. But now I'm looking at executing on PONY, and just, oh my goodness.
Is it still going?
Yeah, it's still going, bro. It's not giving up the ghost. So we'll see exactly how I execute on this, Joseph. What do you got?
All right, yeah, good luck. I'm looking to get involved in some NVDA right here, guys. Potential double bottom on this underlying. Ooh. And we're getting a little bit of a bounce here in the market. So there we go. We're long some NVDA. I'll show you guys kind of what the game plan is. Risk profile is now defined. Once we crack that double bottom, we're slightly in the money now, guys. Only a couple pennies. We're going to wait for the crack of the high of this resistance zone and see if this market wants to get a bounce. But let's see what Adair is up to, guys.
I'll let you guys know here, we have a new infographic on X at TTV Research. This is our first earnings-related infographic of the week. We have a huge earnings week. In case you were not aware, we have 180 names in the S&P 500 set to report this week, so a little under 40% of the index. 2 of those names are Starbucks and McDonald's. McDonald's performing well earlier in the earnings season than it usually does. And because McDonald's and Starbucks are both in that consumer space, they're both in that coffee space, I thought, why not compare their annual revenue? Interestingly enough, 2017 is the most recent year that McDonald's has actually eked out a beat over Starbucks in annual revenue, just barely. Since then, Starbucks has taken over. So if you want to see what these two have been brewing up ahead of their reports, go on X at TTV Research. Check out this infographic. If you ever have any suggestions for any infographics you'd like to see, just tag me in the chat at Adara LePage. I answer, or I look occasionally at the chat, but either way, let us know what type of content you want to see, especially ahead of this huge earnings week. Back to you.
Much for that, Adair, and I like the point that you're talking about earnings, because with that, Sharif, we get to talk about some big names, but then we also get to look at expected moves, all right, implied moves here in some of them. So I'm looking forward to that. Tomorrow morning, we got SoFi and PayPal and Spotify as well, to UPS and Coca-Cola. So that is an action-packed day with Royal Caribbean Cruises also added to that morning lineup. What do we have going on in the afternoon? I'm not too sure if this is, wow, what a dump here in the market. Visa, Starbucks, Snapchat, and bookings, it's a little bit more expensive on that front, but I'm looking for which day. I'm pretty sure it's Wednesday evening when my guy Hood starts to report, and I'm looking forward to that one. So yes, it is Wednesday evening. We got a star-studded lineup, Sharif. Meta, Microsoft, Hood, and Qualcomm all coming up after the bell. We're most definitely going to be bringing in those expected moves and what we expect the options market to tell us for these earnings reports, and I'm looking forward to that. We'll get into that momentarily. But what a dump this market took right here, heading back towards the low. Hopefully NVDA can hold up some of these levels. If not, we're going to get out of this trade.
All right, man. I'm all flat on my trades now, so I'm going to take this opportunity to do the news. Let's do this, baby. All right, so let's start off with some of the headlines. It's not exactly like the biggest headline day, but we're gonna do it to the best of our ability. So, a new rumored, much cheaper Katina Man Model Y. I don't know if you're, I know you're interested, obviously. So perhaps you can listen out to this one. So Ross Gerber, he's not related to the well, maybe he is, to the baby food there, but he slammed the rumors of a new Tesla Model Y, codenamed E80, on social media, calling it the Tesla Model C. He mocked the E80 as just 4 wheels and you sit on the battery, expressing skepticism over its innovation. He didn't say anything positive about the price. Let me make my point. There we go. Now you guys can see it. So the new Model Y E80 is reportedly a toned-down, more affordable version of the standard Model Y. This is where I kind of have my issues with this, Joseph. Expected price, $28,000 US. Yeah, I'm not buying that, bro. I'm not buying that at all. But that's what is being floated around. We'll have to wait and see what the actual company says. Key omissions, excuse me, from the car. It's going to be fabric seats only, so no leather or vegan leather, or whatever they're calling it these days, without ventilation. So you're not going to have, maybe you'll have heated, but you won't have ventilated seats. It's going to be a manual frunk, so you will have to, have some sort of physical ability to open it. It's also going to be a smaller battery pack, about 50, let me move that down so you guys can see it, about 50 to 55 kilowatts, and it's going to have monotone ambient lighting. Look, man, if I'm looking for a discount car, none of this disappoints me at all. Gerber's broad criticism of Tesla. He's crapping on Tesla lately a lot, this Gerber guy. He's been accusing our friend Elon of not caring about Tesla, more focused on XAI and these newer kind of ventures that he's got. He compared Tesla's FSD performance to a 12-year-old driving. Separately, Chamath, I don't know if he's invested in Tesla or not. He is not usually one to really praise Elon. At least this has been my observation. On the All In podcast this weekend, he said the new FSD, like a month old with the recent update, he's like, he has to basically, disengagement, or I think it's called disengagements, almost never. He's saying basically you're driving autonomous at 99.5% of the time. Whether you believe that or not, different story. So this Gerber guy, he criticized Tesla's poor Q1 figures, blaming the board of directors for negligence, calling for their removal. So this person, very critical of Tesla, but the reason I'm showing you all this is the new reported Model Y. Now let's talk about some of the Mag 7s. Joseph brought to our attention who's reporting when, and obviously it's a very, very big week in the market for earnings, so let's talk about that right now. So, key dates, April 30th, aka in 2 days, Microsoft and Meta. Then, the day after that, the craziness continues. Apple and Amazon, that's May 1st. Since the high that we put into the market on February 19th of this year, Microsoft down 4.5%, Apple down 15%, Amazon 17%, your friend Meta 22%, and the S&P 500 at large down 11%. And that's basically from April 26th, though, onwards, Meta and Apple are standout performers, with Amazon and Microsoft acting as laggards. That's very short. That's obviously from April 26th. But when you look at the longer, February 19th, Apple, Amazon, Meta, definitely a lot weaker than Microsoft and the overall market.
May I add there on Microsoft there, my friend, we are looking at approximately about a 7.6% expected move, so that can put us as a potential high of around 587 and a low of around 503.
Is that all-time high?
There on Meta. No, that's not all-time high. No. It's like 700 on Meta, isn't it, or something like that?
On Meta, sorry, I was thinking Microsoft. I don't know why I thought Microsoft there. My bad.
All right, guys. I'll pull up Microsoft as well too, because you were just
like
you were touching on that one.
Something like
yeah,
that.
4.6% there, Sharif. A high of 404.94, and then a low of about 369.36.
I like how it shows you that on the chart.
Yeah, I
too,
like that. Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
It's a good tool.
What is that? Options? What? Got AI?
Yeah. Everything got AI in there. Okay, guys, I'm gonna get out of this NVDA trade as we crack through that low. So that double bottom thesis is now invalid. Continue.
All right. So we'll continue on here. Now, here's what we're expecting for these Mag 7 earnings. So the Mag 7 are expected to grow about 19.6%. Okay. On 10.9% average revenue growth versus that Q1 of 2024 we had last year. However, earnings growth forecasts for 2025 have dropped down to 9.9%, below that 15.7% we were expecting just 3 months ago. Obviously, a lot has changed, tariffs, since that time. Meta's estimates have been significantly reduced, while Microsoft, Apple, and Amazon estimates are stable. If you're wondering why Meta's have been significantly reduced, it is likely because... Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I didn't get that either.
Adara?
Yeah, I just wanted to provide some context on the Ross Gerber story. So Ross Gerber is a name that is not well liked, to put it lightly, in the Tesla Bull X community. If you were not aware, there is a whole Bull community on X dedicated to Tesla. They're very engaged, and a lot of them are Tesla shareholders. In fact, these shareholders were really credited with regards to the vote at the Tesla shareholder meeting last June. If you recall, that was considered a huge win for shareholders. It was all organized over X. So all this is to say, one thing that I think is really important to mention with regards to Ross Gerber, and I think one reason that a lot of these Tesla bulls have an issue with Ross Gerber, is the fact that he has criticized Tesla for at least a year and a half now, despite the fact that his firm has a $106 million Tesla position as of December 31st. So it is worth noting here, I guess that's the hypocrisy of it is what's viewed, to my understanding, as someone who's looked into this, as the issue here with Ross Gerber. But again, a little bit of context for those who are not familiar with Ross Gerber and his place in the Tesla world. Back to you.
Great reporting as always, Adara. Thank you for bringing that to our attention and giving us context there. Do appreciate it. I don't know, Adara, maybe he just wants the company to perform better. He's got so much money on the line. I can't understand why he hate on so much, other than he wants better performance. So we'll have to see if this Gerber guy's got anything to stand on, and what the situation is with this cheaper Model Y. We'll have to see if that's even a thing, guys, because sometimes, this is true. So Meta's expectations, earnings expectations, have been significantly reduced downward, and there's a reason for that. We know that the de minimis principle, or the de minimis exception for these imports coming into the United States under $880, that window's going to get shut awfully soon. So your Temus, your Shein's, they're obviously going to be affected by this. So will they be buying as many ads on your Googles, on your Metas, as they had been in the past? Google already reaffirmed their guidance, but they did say that they were concerned about digital ads headwind. So this is why Meta has been significantly reduced down. We'll have to see if this is the thing or just speculation at this point. Let me know if you need to interrupt. Okay?
No, I'm just waiting for your next thing, and I'll pull up the expected move as we
it's
go
Bitcoin
along.
next. So
we're not gonna get that. We're not gonna get that. Yeah,
you were getting ready. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So by the end of this week, when all is said and done, 71.2% of S&P 500 listed companies will have reported. As Brendo mentioned in the morning, 180 companies have already reported with earnings. Believe it or not, average earnings up 18% year over year. Again, this is all pre-tariffs, pre-craziness, right? Revenue is up 4.2%. So earnings is EPS, revenue obviously is revenue, with about 70% EPS beat rate, which is below the 5-year average, though, guys, of about 78%. So that's something to note here. Only about 70% of companies beat their EPS. The 5-year average is about 80%, 79.1 to be exact. So something to keep in mind. It's not the end-all and be-all, but we definitely need to keep an eye out on that. Bitcoin regains positive territory, maybe not on the day, but it was certainly above 95,500 when we were here in the morning. It has erased that 18% decline and is now up about, when I wrote this anyway, about 1.5% year to date as of late April. Position between gold and the NASDAQ. And here's what's funny. It's not trading with the NASDAQ anymore. But it's obviously not nearly as high as where gold is relative to its all-time high. It's somewhere in between. And this is the correlation ratio that I want to show you guys. The 30-day correlation with gold, way closer than its correlation with the NASDAQ. 0.7 correlation with gold, only 0.53 with the NQ. So it's suggesting a weak ties or weakening ties with tech stocks. So we'll have to see if it ends up being this digital gold that we've been hearing about for so long. And as we know, Bitcoin pumped up about 10% last week. The best weekly gain, Joseph, it had is since the post-election cycle rally in November 2024, obviously. So we'll keep tabs on that. And now, Eli Lilly. Lilly, catching a downgrade. Where's my friend Lilly at right now? Let's find out where Lilly's at. Terms of percentage up or down the day. Well, she's still down about 1.95%, 2%. So analyst at HSBC, Rajesh Kumar, warns that high multiple stocks like your friend Lilly are more vulnerable to today's macroeconomic climate. He's talking about the forward PE ratio of Lilly being around 40 compared to 20, give or take, for the S&P 500. So he's worried about these ones. So he did slash the price target from $1,150 down to $700 a share, which is implying a 21% downside from where we're actually trading right now from Friday's close at 884. Sorry, we're trading at 866. The closing print on Friday, 884, which would be a 21% loss off that close. We're already down, as I mentioned, 2%. His concerns are he's warning of investor hype around Eli Lilly's new oral GLP-1. He's saying it might be overdone. There's been a high discontinuation rate, apparently, for this in type 2 diabetes trials, which raises the question about patient compliance with these oral GLP-1 drugs. I don't think it's a canary in the coal mine. I think it might be an isolated incident. I still think we have a lot more untapped potential for these GLP-1s than just weight loss and diabetes. So we'll have to see how that all prepares. This one, though, I really want to focus on. Huawei prepares to challenge NVIDIA with new AI chip. Look, I'll believe it when I see it. But we definitely need to be ready for the Chinese to respond with something. Like, we can't just assume that the Chinese are just going to be sit there idle and, try to, bring in illegal H100s and B200s and whatever, and, set up shell companies in Singapore. I don't think that that's the move going forward forever and ever more. They're going to make their own chips. So here's the deal. They've got two chips, Joseph. One's called the Ascend 910D, and one's called the 910C. Let's talk about them. So this is going to be its most powerful chip. It's supposed to be taking on, if you believe the reports, NVIDIA's H100. The first batch of the D, which is the stronger of the two, expected to arrive as early as late May, with mass shipments of the C also planned for next month, but earlier than the D. So we'll have to wait and see how they end up coming out. So there's the 910D and the 910C. Huawei obviously hopes that the 910D will outperform NVIDIA's H100. Just to tell you guys, full disclosure, nobody's tested these. And neither NVIDIA nor Huawei have responded for comment, so we don't know what the hell is going on. These are just kind of leaked reports. We all know why this is happening, because the U.S. basically banned the H20, which was an NVIDIA China-created specific chip under the Biden administration. The Trump administration, obviously with their own ideas, came in and said no.
Do you think that this chip can be a legit competitor for Huawei outside of China.
I think that's going to be their goal, Joseph.
But
They want to.
you know the Americans won't be buying the Huawei.
Certainly not.
And you know the Canadians won't be buying it either.
Those aren't the only people buying it.
That's
the thing,
that's
right?
fair. That's fair.
The thing. And like by putting these tariffs, the argument goes: are we pushing some of our current trading partners into the hands of the Chinese? Right. And you know, Joseph, you know what they're going to do, bro. Let's be real about it. They're going to copy the technology and they're going to sell it for cheaper.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're going to sell it for cheaper.
That's the way it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll see how that ends up working. Domino's, guys, I don't want to harp on this too much because we rarely even say anything about DPZ, but it could be a canary in the coal mine. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying it could be. Comparable store sales are down year over year in the U.S. means people are eating out less, and we saw that with Chipotle. So that's a couple of what are they called? Fast food chains right now that are reporting year over year declines in sales, and that's not what you want to see. I mean, I don't know if this is going to be the canary in the coal mine, but that's Chipotle now and Domino's both coming out with light guides and light reports. Peloton. Who remembers this? I mean, can you believe I had a trade from $118 to $136
on Peloton?
Back in December, fall of 2020. Yeah. Where is it trading now, bro?
Out, bro, it's like
long time ago, Joseph. Man, are you kidding me, my boy? It's at $6.40 right now.
Yeah. So
Yusuf Sakili at Truist upgrading Peloton from hold to buy. This is a buy for you, Yusuf? All right. New price target of $11, which is a nice upside from where it's currently trading, $6.44 on the day. The balance sheet is cleaned up, he says. Operating expenses have been reduced. Free cash flow is better. He also likes the fact that they got new leadership that's focusing on revenue growth, especially for full year 2026. He also said subscriber revenue, which is about two-thirds of the total of the revenue, offers better profitability and margin stability. He also believes that Peloton trade now is mostly de-risked. So we'll have to see about that. Boeing, this was interesting. Where's Boeing on the day? We haven't said anything about that, and it caught a nice upgrade on the day. Is it down or up, or what the hell is it? Oh my God, it's not even updating on my side charts over here. Allow me a second, guys, just to figure out what the situation here is with my friend Boeing. Boeing, show yourself. We're up 1.91%. So this analyst, Douglas Hardened, Alf Bernstein, upgraded Boeing from market perform to outperform. New price target of $218, currently trading at $181 1/3. A nice 23% upside from Friday's close of around $178. Here's a reason for the upgrade, guys. Boeing is making needed progress post the Alaska door plug incident, which was over a year ago now. Wow. January 2024. He also says the FAA's high scrutiny has forced stronger processes, setting Boeing on a firmer path. Despite the risk, Boeing is positioned to emerge stronger, he says, and it's had historical momentum. Apparently, Boeing shares often take off sharply once a positive trend is established. And it looks like from the daily over here, let's have a look at the daily. Okay, we still have that 190 top there that we can't seem to shake. We'll have to see how that works. Hims and Hers got an upgrade, and the China waste tariff exemptions amid trade talks. That is the news for the day.
Nice, good reporting there, my friend. Yeah, I'm just talking to my guy Gaurav as normal here, and normal special. Always worried about the pie situation, but we got other things to worry about.
Hey,
so again,
pie situation.
Yeah. He's always like, yeah, Joe, try it. I'm like, all right, well, maybe.
See those donuts back there?
I did. Did you dive?
I took half of one.
Oh,
I did.
I
had to taste. I had to take a quick taste, bro. Can I tell you?
Yeah.
One of the ways I think that I stay super disciplined is I weasel in a cheat every now and again.
Yeah,
that keeps you disciplined.
Absolutely.
You don't crave. You know what I mean? You don't binge either.
Friday evening is when I look forward to
That's
just.
it, eh?
Yeah.
I'll weasel like one thing a day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll take half
rightfully
a cookie.
so. I think so.
Right?
Rightfully
Yeah.
so. Yeah, and you try to give me the other half. Like, here, man, try. Yeah, I'm like, man, all right.
Company,
You want me to go down that path with you? But yeah, you try to get in a cheat meal. Fridays is our night, and then we try to clean it up Saturday and Sundays. But yeah, guys, we're back in attempt number 2 here on NVDA. Let's see if we're climbing. I mean, we've already given back everything that we've gained from Friday's session. Down 4.1% here on the day. Again, risk profile is defined. So if we crack through that lows once again, that's enough, right? Like we're solid. We're positive on the day. We don't want to give too much of that back here in NVDA, especially if the stock doesn't want to cooperate. So we're not going to try to fight that. But let's see what Adair's up to, guys.
This part of the show is brought to you by ProfitX. In sports, playing flexibility is everything. At ProfitX, you can see the order book just like a financial exchange. Pick your spot and customize the odds to fit your risk. Why settle for a single offered price when you can set your own? Plus, our mobile interface makes it easy to play on the go. ProfitX, where you call the shots anytime, anywhere. Traders can use code TraderTV to get our sign-up offer of 2% cash back up to $300. Back to you.
I haven't really done anything, yeah. Fair.
Okay, so yeah, that's the game plan. Yeah, sorry, my grandma's taking care of the old pup today because he's on his own. Yeah, he's on his own officially now.
No way.
Yeah, she just lives across like a train station over. So.
Nice, that's perfect, bro.
And give her something to do, right? You want to keep the gram flags moving and everything, keep her busy, right? So she's good with that.
The gram flag. Oh, Katina, man, dropping bombs. Yeah, you got to take a little bit of this now.
Oh, yeah, right. There's no way. That is crazy.
That's, the Katina is like she wants a human, not a dog, like a grandchild.
No, she can take care of that.
You're a great-grandchild.
It'd be a great, exactly. It'd be a great-grandmother. But yeah, so here we go, guys. Let's see if we can get this bounce here in NVDA. I mentioned how much we're down and how much we gave back from Friday's session, which is totally unfortunate. I told you I'm long this name 107, and I'm going to look to add into the position most definitely. We were nicely in the money, but I'm not looking to take any profits like that. 120, 125 is where we're going to aim for in the specific swing trade unless we crack the lows. If we go south of 90, Sharif, I'm going to get out of that trade, and we'll take a loss on that, but nothing to worry about. We're sticking to the game plan, and we're going to be prepared to add significant amounts of contracts to the position, and even a little bit of more shares, all right? I'm shares right now, waiting for the trade to set up for a potential longer-term swing, week or two, whatever it may be, and then that's when we're going to start to add some contracts. But today, a really, really weak stock, and it's unfortunate that we've already gave back what we've gained from Friday.
Jimmy Donnelly, I think there's something here with Lucid. Let's have a look, brother, because it's a car company that I keep my eye on, just because I like the Lucid Gravity. So you kind of want to see, is there mass participation? There's great reviews online from some of the YouTube reviewers about the Gravity. But look, the price action isn't really helping that. I don't know what you're seeing, Jimmy. This is the daily on LCID, and I want to show the daily, including the COVID pump when it got into that $60 area. I don't want that to be the standard. Obviously, that's not the standard. That's the double top there that we got into January 2021. We got to about 65 bucks. We had another rally in November of 2021. That's where he used the word not transit, or he said the phrase, excuse me, not transitory. And it went all the way down. That was when he testified. I'm talking about Jerome Powell, that is, in front of Congress, and the market. We know what the market did in 2022, and it didn't look back. So Lucid hasn't been able to recover like many of these other names have. Let's look at the more local trend. You're still putting in lower lows and lower highs. So if you're taking, the July, last year, July, obviously area high into 440, we haven't even been above 4. And then when you're looking at these area highs, December and January, December of last year and January of this year, we're talking about 350, 360. And then, since this big dump over here on the 26th, I believe, of February, we've been kind of locked in a range, Jimmy. I feel like 260 to the high side at best. Maybe we'll see 265, if that. Mostly, though, we bounce off that 2 1/3, 2 1/4. So it's been a bit of a range. I don't know. I need to see a bit more. We're also below both 200 moving averages. The purple one is going to be the simple moving average, and the blue one is going to be the exponential. And I keep them on there because for my investing purposes, I like to look at the simple. For my swing trades, I like the exponential. So I just keep them both on there. Purple, simple, blue, exponential. And we're below both of them. They're both either at 290 or 2 mid-80s. So I don't know what you're seeing, Jimmy, but yeah, not for me on the day. Let's look at the 5. Now, we got a big boy move up. Not sure what this is. Likely a market on open order for some shareage, but it ends up getting sold off, and we're right back into that 250 area, which was Friday's closing print. So I'm a big fan of the cars. I really am. I think they're amazingly built, well engineered, no costs are cut. But like Brendo was telling me the other day, it's like being in a saloon, man. The Lucid Air, it feels like those, like the Grand Marquis or the Caprice Classic from the 1980s. Who remembers that? Or like the Lincoln Town Car. They're just exponentially big. And you kind of feel like you're swimming in it. So it's not for everybody. Even the Gravity, the SUV that they have. It's a 3-row SUV. It's got an ass. It looks like it's just huge. It's ridiculous, the back of that car. So I don't know. I don't think it's everybody's cup of tea, but I think they're amazing cars. The chart, though, it doesn't work for me, guys. We got to see something here other than hope and a prayer, and I'm not seeing anything. Stevenson. I got on Lucid because they got downgraded to $1, waiting until then to join. Fair, bro. And you know what? There is this school of thought that, you know, if there's big money supporting a name, like we know Lucid is being supported by the Saudis, the Saudi Public Investment Fund, they're probably going to do all they can to keep that bad boy above $1, right? Because they want to stay in compliance. They don't want to get that letter from the NASDAQ. In the same way that I'll submit to you, Polestar is being kept up artificially. Polestar has been at $1, I don't know since how long. I've been holding this piece of crap since 87 pennies for, I don't know, Joseph, going maybe 8 months. It's always above $1. Is that, you think that just happens by accident?
No.
No, bro. Somebody's keeping that bad boy up to maintain compliance. So your trade at $1, Stevenson, could be a fantastic idea, especially since we know there's money supporting it. DEFCON. Hell yeah, G. Crown Vic. Yes, man. The Crown Vic and the Grand Marquis, I think, were the same thing, right? The Crown Vic was the Ford, and the Grand Marquis was the Mercury side. And they always had like the same thing, like the Topaz and the Tempo.
My grandpa had one of those.
Which one?
The Mercury.
The Mercury, the Grand Marquis. So did my old man, bro. He had an 85 Mercury. Grand Marquis, bro. I mean, I love that car. It was a boat, Joseph.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
The 80s car.
Remember the Sunfire, too? Man, that was a good car. Yeah, the Sunfire.
Remember when they redesigned that? Like, you were probably 2 years old at the time, because they redesigned it in '94.
Did they?
But like, it ended up being like that curvy style. You know what I mean?
I think.
Good times.
Oh, yeah,
good times, dude. Let's see what else people are saying here, Joseph. Pathetic, a banana boat. Yeah, I don't know if it's a banana boat, but it's big. It's big. I see your point there. Cadillac Fleetwood, says Mike Jones. Oh yeah, that's another one too. Bobby Oxalis, excuse me. Hi, Sharif and Joseph. I chose BTC IBIT. I'm assuming that's what you voted for, my man. Shout out to you. We're likely going to cover that anyway, because BTC had a big boy week last week, about 10% in the green, so why not have a look at that? Joaquin Gonzalez is long Wolf. Let's have a look. A trade that I took multiple times today. Positive on this one. Where is it at? Show yourself, Wolf. There it is. We took it off multiple times, Joaquin. What was his name again? Whatever. Off the volume weighted average price. But this is ranging. It looks like it's a bull flag, you know, ready to break out above that 415. But as I mentioned, 415 is the level. It was the level here. The closing prints could not print above 415. We rejected it here. And then over here, right at 1 o'clock, we rejected on the penny. So I got the hell out of there at 410s. Multiple trades on it. 2 for 3 on this one today. I ended up getting stopped out here, full disclosure. Added, got stopped out, then we got back in, and then we went the beak to the top side. So we'll see if we can, if this sets up again. Fantastic. If it doesn't, it doesn't. DYL, how's DJT looking? Say less, my man. You don't have to convince me to look at my friend Donald. Let's bring in DJT. Get it, Daryl. Get it, Donald, she said. Choker, yeah, down and to the right it goes today. There he is. Uh-oh. Okay. So DJT, baby, 26.50 high a day. That was as good as we were going to do on the day, baby, because now we're down at 25.30. I don't know how you feel about Dial, but, you know, shorting the pop seems to be the money fills today on your friend Donald. It's either rejecting their 10 or the 20. It hasn't been able to get above the 20. So line in the sand, maybe. Short 25.50. I don't know how you feel about that. Let me know. Havana. I loved my Lincoln Mark 8. Oh, wow, dude. Memories. That was a 2-door, right? The Mark 8 was a 2-door? The Mark 5, excuse me. V is 5, right?
Well, I'm trying to think of...
Hold on, let's pull it up.
Pontiac. Yeah, there's a Pontiac that my grandparents used to have, too. It was a 2-door, and I'm trying to think of what it was.
Mark 5. Oh, yeah, there is a Mark 8, but there's also the Mark 5. I was thinking about the Mark 8. Because that one was the 2-door. This is the 2-door. So I think the Mark 8 was just the newer version of this one. Wow, man. Holy. You know what this car reminds me of?
What's that?
The movie Casino. Because what's his name? Robert De Niro was driving around, I think, in this. Maybe I'm not 100% sure. The Mark 8 is this one. So this is a bit newer. Let's go to that one. So this was the kind of the same thing. You can tell it's a 2-door, but they probably just changed the name. I used to love these cars.
The Grand Prix, that's what we had, 2-door Grand Prix.
Oh, that was sick too, bro. The Grand Prix was like the better Grand Am. It was like the fast one, right? That was a sports tune one.
The Grand
Prix was sick,
man. It was sick, a 2-door too.
Remember when American cars used to be good? Feels like a long time ago.
Damn.
I'm gonna call a spade, bro. There's a reason why GM and Ford are trading at 2 and 3 PE.
Wait, you don't like the Scat Pack these days?
That's not my thing.
No, it's not your
No,
thing.
it's not my
But
thing. I
would
like
it be-
supercharged because
would
my
it
car's
be-
supercharged.
Would it
but
be 25-year-old Shreve's thing though? If you want
25?
Yeah, 25-year-old Shreve.
Right now, if I was 25
if
right
you're
now?
25, would you go Scat Pack, Hellcat?
That's a great question,
right?
bro. Can I tell you, it's
Yeah.
kind of hard to answer because when I was 25, it was like the high revving engines that got all the love. Now it's not about that.
No,
it's
it's
about
not.
like naturally
You want it quiet.
aspirated
Yeah.
or supercharged or turbocharged. I don't know, bro. I need some time to think about
you
that.
need to
I don't have an answer super quick to that.
all right,
but
all right.
yeah, man, those are good
Trailhawks.
times.
I love how it's a lot more common in America, but I love how you have like kind of the car gangs where it's like Trailhawk, Scat Pack, Hellcat, and all that stuff, and everybody kind of rides around in those. Like,
So
I
good.
love that personally.
There's a whole culture in the States around that, isn't there?
Yeah, it's massive,
Yeah, it's
massive.
We're getting trolled here, or at least I am. Healing pain naturally, Sharif. And Canadian cars? We don't have any
we don't
cars.
have any
We build a
cars.
lot of American cars here, but we don't have any Canadian cars. No, that is not.
Hey, there's an idea. Maybe we'll fire up an old Canadian car there.
Do we have? Are there Canadian?
I don't think so, but maybe we'll start one, right?
I don't know if any Canadian cars. Again, I think we make a lot of American cars, obviously, and that's why this whole thing with the trade, the tariffs is obviously causing a whole lot of beef. Zeke, Sharif, I'm short on SMCI. How do you think it plays out? Let's have a look, brother. Let's bring in the side chart and have our friend Smicky.
MH says Ski-Doo is the.
What do you say?
MH says Ski-Doo is the
What do you say?
classic Canadian car.
Ski-Doo?
Yeah.
Love it.
That was a good one. Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
We don't live in igloos, guys. Like, there is almost 7 million people that live in the Greater Toronto area. We live in a pretty advanced world over here. Your ideas of how Canada looks are grossly inaccurate, but I love you guys anyway.
Yeah.
What is that, Adara? They're entertaining. Yes. I'm not going to get offended by it.
Hey, I will say one thing. Our
What are you gonna
credit
say?
card system is slightly more efficient than what we got going on.
I love how you hold up to that.
Yeah.
And the e-transfer. Tell them again about the
tell me
e-transfer, Joe.
man. What is Zelle? What is PayPal? What is Venmo? We got one e-transfer. That's it. And that's it. We just tap it one time the card. We don't have to sign the check or anything like that. But best believe the company or the store is going to ask for a 20% tip on absolutely nothing. Why? We don't know.
I
But,
like to tip at when I'm picking up my own food. I think that's the best time to tip.
You think?
It makes the most sense. They put in a lot of work, right?
Right, to get it to
You know
us
what I mean?
right there. Exactly.
Bro, why am I tipping if I'm picking up? Somebody help me, bro. I'm not a charity.
No, exactly.
Like, you know,
if you're making my burrito, unfortunately, you are not getting extra change. I was doing it for a while, but if you deliver me my burrito, that's a whole different story. My grandpa was a 10% guy. I'm more along the lines of 15 to 20%.
I do 15. Yeah,
15 to 20%. I don't need to add another 20% on top of my cost. We tip, but it is all depending on.
I like this comment, Joe. I'll look at SMCA in a second, I promise.
Yeah.
But let me have a look at this. Old Dog 67. I love your name, by the way, Old Dog 67. Great comment. Canadian-only models were produced, like the Meteor, the Acadian, the Beaumont, the Pontiac Laurentian, as mentioned in Motor Trend article. Thank you.
Let's go.
I hope you didn't just copy and paste that, but even if you did, I still like you anyway. Shout out to Old Dog 67. SMCI. Let's have a look at that if we can, guys. SMCI is marginally down the day, only about 0.8, so 4/5% down the day. For whatever reason, guys, it's been having this area support of 36 between 35.5 to 36. Very flat day today for SMCI, given its its DNA of being awfully volatile, but it's got a good trend under its belt. And I'll submit to you, it had a hell of an April. We got to go to Adara.
It's pretty funny, all this car talk comes, and then I see some guidance coming through for Porsche. They're seeing fiscal 2025 here. Auto EBITDA margin 16.5% to 18.5% lower than their previous guidance. They also are seeing their operating ROS 6.5% to 8.5% below previous estimates. So Porsche lowering some of its EBITDA and operating margin guidance here, it looks like, for the fiscal year. We also have the White House coming out here saying that their talks with the UK for trade are, quote, moving in a very positive way. Last week we said we heard the UK basically saying they're in no rush or feel no need to really rush themselves into a deal with the US on trade, but regardless, White House saying that these talks are apparently going well. Also, Spotify. So many headlines here from this company ahead of their earnings. We know on Friday, there are some reports that they were jacking up subscription prices in some non-American regions. As you can see here, we get a little pop to the upside there on Friday. Not much of a move today, but worth noting, CNBC reporting that the company apparently announced that it's paid over $100 million to podcasts in Q1. So again, Spotify reports tomorrow morning. They've certainly hyped us up for that report with a couple different headlines back to back. But before we send you back to the Bash Brothers, we have to thank our friends at eSignal. New traders, listen up. First month, free. That's right, we're waiving fees. Trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to Elite. Analyze, strategize, capitalize. Our platform is everything. Infinite data, instant trading, lightning fast market insights, game-changing charts, predict with back testing, reliable real-time data, global markets at your fingertips. All in one platform. Don't miss out. Execute your best trades now. Thank you to our friends at eSignal, and back to the Bash Brothers.
Appreciate that, Adara. Thank you for keeping us apprised of that.
Yeah, if you don't want to go test out eSignal after that, then
every day I'm using it, bro.
Speaking of Spotify, Sharif.
Yeah, go ahead. I had something to say on that too.
Looking at a 10.6% expected move here, guys, we can put us a high of 664 and a low of 537 here in Spotify. Looking forward to this one as well.
Do you have Spotify?
I don't. I have
Apple Music? Okay, yeah. I was going to tell you they have.
Everybody's telling me I should move over to Spotify.
Why?
But because, well, one...
What do you get extra?
Well, the playlist feature, I think, is pretty cool on Spotify. You don't necessarily get that. I don't think it's the same.
What do you mean playlist feature?
Like, if you play, you can go have selected playlists.
Okay.
It's like, so certain genres, you can go and, and check that out.
Does it have, like, the smart suggestions?
Maybe, I think so, something along the... So there you go, yeah. But
Fabian says it does.
What's better, Ramin? You think so? Wow, okay.
So what I wanted to tell you about was this new DJ feature.
Oh, wow.
So it's like an AI DJ. So it gives you like mood. So if you're, based on like your music preferences, it'll just give you an idea of what you like together. Not the songs that you like in general, and then mixes them up. It's like, all right, well, now we're gonna go back to the 2000s, and you're gonna listen to some hip hop from the 2000s, or we're gonna go to 2010s and hear some EDM. You know what I mean?
Oh,
yeah, so I do like that.
Crazy.
Yeah, EDM. Remember the Digital Dreams?
Yeah, Digital
Veld?
Dreams. Wow, Electric Island.
That was always the more sketch of the three. And I saw some
Veld,
stuff there, I'll say that. But,
it's
Havana Woody. I can totally see Sharif in a big old boat. You could have a baseball game on the hood of it and 7 bodies in the trunk. Those were the days. My old man had those, man. My old man loved those boat type cars. Like I mentioned, the Grand Marquis, but that was not the only one he had. He had some big cars as well. He just likes those kind of cars, man. He doesn't drive as much anymore, so he's got a smaller car now with the vision and he's almost 80, man. I can't believe my old man's almost 80, dude. Man. He's turning 79 October this year, and then next year.
October what?
October 6th.
Ooh,
yeah. I told you.
Let's go.
Yeah. You guys are a lot alike, bro, man. You
yeah.
guys are excellent at not answering the question. Excellent.
Yeah, I'm great. I feel like I'm great at answering.
Oh my God. If I asked him something
specific, I feel like I'm straightforward, no?
You're a lot better than him. But you got your tendencies there right now, good. But yeah, so shout out to all the early Libras out there, baby. All right, what else we got here, Joseph? Low-key, YouTube Music is a better deal, says CPDP.
Oh, yeah.
You're not the first person to say that, man. Brendo was scolding me. He's like, you got YouTube Premium? Why the hell are you paying for Spotify? I don't have a good answer. No, other than the fact that I just don't want to transfer my playlist.
I think that's such a valid point too, because you can cache pretty much, like save all of the videos, I'm pretty sure, on YouTube Music as well too. So if you're looking for any track, and that's what I like, a lot of my music, DJ 2AM, my guy, shout out to you out there. A lot of my music isn't on Apple Music, so I have to go with the mainstream because I like to listen to some of this underground stuff. For all my people out in California, there's a group called Abby Dijon, for those who are familiar with them, just like like great beats, and like honestly, I love that type of music, and it's hard to find on
That's
Apple,
cool.
so.
I didn't know that like that was still the problem, because I remember back in the day, like there would be certain songs that weren't on certain platforms, and you would only get like the bootleg version of them, like someone else would be singing it.
And like,
you know what I mean?
For some reason, like some of my R&B artists here in Toronto, like a guy named Notify, it's like it's like his music isn't accepted in this region, but it's like it's R&B. There's no profanity or anything on those lines.
And when is profanity not allowed in music?
Right, exactly.
Like,
so I don't know what's up with that. Can you still do remember when you used to like download the thing on MP3 and then transfer it to your MP3? Can you still do that?
That's what Adara does, bro.
Can you still do that on Apple Music?
That's what Adara does. She buys songs individually, and then she puts them on her phone.
No, but you don't have to. Remember, it had the MP3 converter? You know what I mean? So you would like literally copy and paste the title from YouTube.
Yeah, it feels like that was a long time ago, Joseph. We passed that point now, bro.
We can't do that? Like, that was the most efficient way. And you would title your songs on your own.
Those were good times.
Yeah.
I used to have like, anyway, we'll go on. City Boy 305. You get audiobooks that you have time to pay. What? You get audiobooks that you have time for in Apple. That you have to pay for in Apple. Yes, you're absolutely right.
Spotify,
with Premium, I do get audiobooks. Right now, I'm listening, as I told you guys, the two books I'm listening to right now are, the one is called The Lean Startup by, what's his name, Eric Ries. And the other one, I don't want to share. But yeah, the Lean Startup obviously is because, we've got that business opening up. So I just wanted to get some ideas. Great book, Joseph, for anybody looking at actually starting up a business. Teaches you like an entirely different way of looking at how to do business, bro. Yeah, keeping costs super low, having the market proof to you what's needed, what's not. If anybody's read this, you guys know what the minimum viable product is. Fantastic book. I would recommend it for anybody really that's looking at starting their own business. And even if like it's out of your kitchen, out of your garage, I think that's really what it's there for. So that's the situation. Yeah, Brian Vickers, if you got Premium, you get audiobooks. I think you're limited to 5 or 7 a month or something like that, but I don't know if you're that much of a reader, you're gonna read all that, or listen to all that. CB, I have 300 gigabytes of music data on my hard drive. Yeah, something like that. I'm around there with you. Let's talk some markets right now, Joseph. How we doing? Let's have a look at the NQ and see what the situation is. Let's bring in the side charts. We've said almost nothing today, today about the Mag 7. So let's bring those in and see what the situation is. Okay. Lots of weakness, everything down and to the right. This is the first time I'm actually loading up the Mag 7 on the day, and I didn't even see that we were about 300 points off the high of the day on the NQ today, 19,623. We're currently trading down into 318, so over 300 points off the top at the moment. Who's recovering the best? Who's trading the best? I'll submit to you, it's Apple. Apple's at that $209 area. It's almost green on the day. It's only down 0.11. It's the only one of the 7 that's actually retraced into VWAP. You don't see any of the other ones even close. Microsoft, second best here in my humble submission. In its VWAP retracement attempt. 38.5, it's currently trading at, or 38 1/3. VWAP around 389. So about 50, 60 pennies off that. Apple just touched the volume weighted average price at 209, but you're getting like the likes of Amazon well below that VWAP at 185.80. It's trading, or VWAP's at 187.50, so about $2 below that. So we'll see exactly what we get there. I'm not interested in trading any of these. Tesla, the bamboozler in chief, man. This one had a great catalyst today about the cheaper Model Y, 28,000, this and that. Gapped up aggressively in the pre-market. I was watching Squawk Box in the morning, and Tesla was markedly green. We double topped, though, it looks like at 293. Then all hell broke loose to the downside. We dropped $20, guys, from the opening print. More than $20, man. We had a 294, essentially a 295 high. Let's say it's 295, and we have a low of around 272.50. So big down move today for Tesla, but it's been a good, like, I don't want to say week or so for Tesla. Let's have a look at the 15, see where it all started moving up. The worst day, I think, for Tesla was when we bottomed out there at around 222 back on April 21st. Since that low on April 21st of the high we made this morning, Tesla was up 32% from the 21st to the 28th. We've obviously given some back now, dropping down below 280 on TSLA. Apple now is almost positive on the day. It's essentially flat above the volume weighted average price. So my inclination is Apple has been the strongest Mag 7 name on the day. Doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. It's not a glowing endorsement for it as an investment or anything like that. I'm just talking about intraday price action. So the market selling off over 300 points. Tesla dropping over $20 from high to low. Yeah, bro, 294.86 high day, Katina man. 272 low of day. So quick as you freaking like, man. From highs to lows. yeah. Right? We gotta keep it PG for YouTube, baby. But yeah, Tesla, a lot of weakness today. RGLS, one that we were waxing poetic about many times today, did hold over here the volume weighted average price at around 3 1/3. And here we go, knocking the door of 350 again. But that door has been shut multiple times in our face on RGLS, only able to wick above 350 and then move right back down. AGMH. Okay, so this is that penny stock that I refuse to trade because it's trading at like 12 pennies, and I just hate these ones. But there it is, man. Holds VWAP like a dang glove at 10 pennies. You didn't need to risk much with this one to print up multiple storms. Now it's up over 2.5 pennies, and we're talking about a 10-penny name. So when we say 2.5 pennies, you get it. It's a big move. We're still off the high of the day, though. 1341 HOD. We're at 12 2/3 right now. Good move, though, for AGMH, up 158% on the day. But I'm not going to trade this one because I hate trading these sub $1 names. So that's what I'm looking at right now, Joseph. That's the current state of the market. Well off the highs.
Yeah, but good stuff there. I know my guy Gore of BP and a lot of Los Pollos is in this as well, I believe. So good look here on NVDA. It took us a couple attempts to get the ball rolling on this one, but here we go. Starting to gain back what we just lost on them. We've already recovered that, and now slightly positive on the name, positive on the day as well too, which is always a good thing. A good start to the week. But here we go. I wish I added. I just stepped out and went to the washroom, but this is where I would have added at the crack of this level here, and then you can just double up the size as you continue to move to the top side there. I mean, we were down 4.1% on the day. So yeah, again, nice grabbing of the bottoms here on NVDA. Hopefully this move can be sustained. I've seen the momentum really start to pick up in Palantir as we push through the volume weighted average price as well too, so you can see that there. Hopefully we don't print an inverted hammer or anything along those lines, but you can see on the 5-minute time frame, the volume by time profile, we're really starting to pick up here. So again, we're around that 2 o'clock hour, so that is totally normal what we are seeing on that front. But let's go NVDA, down 4%. I can't believe it. I thought I was looking forward for the continuation in strength. But again, I mentioned that we're not on the backside of this daily channel, all right? I think once we sit on the backside of that channel, then we can get a sustained bounce. I'm not saying we're going to push the all-time highs or anything along those lines. I'll be frank, I don't know how other people feel in chat or how Katina Man, Neil, and Shree feel, but I don't think this market puts in a new all-time high this year. I'm saying that. I mean, this year, I don't think we see that, especially with this tariff news. I could be so wrong. If the negotiations with China go significantly better, then most definitely it can lead us on that trajectory. But oh, what's up, Faye? What's going on? Yeah, there's Fabian, the Chilean Nightmare, doing some work. It looks awfully brighter over there. Is it just me or? Oh, no, I got your back. Don't worry, I got your back, Fabian. Don't worry about that. Oh, high five. It's all brotherly love out here. I might have to borrow those flippers off of Katina Man and get into some swimming. I can swim, but the cardio on that is most definitely tough for all my pure natural swim. I don't have an ACL or an MCL. You don't? No. Oh yeah, same. I told you I got I retore my meniscus and everything along those lines playing hockey. So yeah, that's not a good look on that front, especially a boy's really missing hockey, being on the sidelines and stuff like that. But my run game has been really strong. See, the thing is though, with the meniscus, it's more your east to west movement, right? So my agility isn't as good as it is, but I can still go north to south. So yeah, we've been on the trails pretty much every day throughout the week. So we put in another 10+ K day yesterday, which was really nice. Nice day out there, and I love it. Honestly, the thing is though, traveling to Dallas and traveling traveling to some other cities. I love them. But Toronto is actually a really, really beautiful city, if you ask me. And if you have the opportunity to go down on Lakeshore and just travel, go from kind of east to west on that Lakeshore, it is one of a kind, I think. I don't know too many other places that I've personally been. I know Cancun has something like that, but even so, it's right beside a highway, and I don't think it's as, that skyline in Toronto is one definitely it's a spectacle. But here we go, continuing to climb here in NVDA. Let's crack through this 106.90s, guys, and tap into that 107. That's where we're gonna look to continue to take some off here. Los Polios both printing on longs. NVIDIA, let's go. Congratulations on that front there. Los Polios, I know Gorev, you're still in this one as well too. So yeah, let's just let this grind a little bit. I don't know if we're gonna get all the way to the volume weighted average price. We're gonna need that momentum and that volume to step in. Otherwise, it's gonna be a slower grind. And when we pull back, best believe that buyers are gonna be, sellers are gonna be a little bit more aggressive and kind of fake more people out and then grind higher and higher and higher and higher. DEFCON 1, Chicago, City on the Lake, similar vibes. Yes, I heard it's very similar. I've yet to travel to Chicago.
Very similar, bro.
Is it very
Crazy.
similar? Yeah. So I'm looking forward to going to there one day. We'll take a little bit more here off on NVDA. What do you mean I got hailing pain? I travel enough times a year, 2 or 3 times a year, bro. Unfortunately, I can't be all around the world. I've yet to cross the pond, which is unfortunate. But again, I go to Mexico. I haven't been to South America, so Mexico, and I go to a lot of the Caribbean islands. So I can't say that I don't travel a lot. Do I need to get out more? Probably a little bit, but I'm thankful for definitely. Yeah, I'm most definitely thankful for where I've traveled and the people I've met along the way.
Joseph, I don't know how you're feeling about this right now, but some of these Mag 7 names are starting to change their tune here. And the futures above 19,300. Apple's now positive on the day. And some of these ones are working back. Is this a short the pop type situation? Meta's almost positive on the day, down 0.12. Apple's up 0.1. So we're seeing some variances here in some of the looks on the Mag 7. I don't know how you guys feel. Are we shorting some of these pops or what? So let me know what you guys are thinking over here. Personally, I won't be trading any of these Mag 7 names, but yeah, let me know what the situation is. There's a lot of good small caps now that are starting to break out a little bit. Yeah, I'm starting to think Pony might be a long again here. It's held 10 beautifully. And if we weren't talking about nonsense and having a good time midday, I definitely would have belonged this one at $10. Beautiful look here on PONY. Doesn't even come back down to VWAP. It's so strong, it holds 10, at least for the moment, that is. Your Rolex is blinding me there, brother. So I'm just... Obviously, the glass is of good quality on that. It should be. It's a Rolex. So PONY right now, zigging and zagging at 10.5. But it did find all sorts of support at 10. Likewise with RGLS, this one did come back into VWAP, and now it's at the $0.50 area. Get it, Adara. So we'll see if this one can break above that $0.50. I was about to say Fifi, but it's no longer Fifi, man. It's a fair FFAI at the high day. Right, Obe? It would have been so much better if we could do that. Now we can't. She always used to do that. So FFAI, guys, up and to the right. It's at the high of the day. We were involved in this one multiple times. 138, the high. It's continuing to go up, up, and up, and up. This did change its ticker. It used to be FFIE. It's now FFAI. I'm sure you guys can get why, because they want to take advantage of the AI tailwind. 2 years too late, Faraday. Wolf continues to range a little bit at $4, maybe a smidge below, and then right back above into $4.15. But $4.15, not the time, but the price level, has been that level that we can't shake on a closing basis. Sure, we've wicked up above it, all the way up to 22s. No closing prints, though, boys and girls, south or north, I should say, of that $4.15. Do we get one now? And if we do, is it continued? Does it continue, or is it just a bull trap? So Wolf, WOLF, and Focus. I already talked about AGMH. Bovin, not you, Bovin. I like you, Bovin, but your ticker over here, BHVN, is doing bupkis. Likewise is Sabre, well below the volume-weighted average price. So I'll submit to you guys, it is Pony, RGLS, FFAI, and WOLF, and AGMH that are going to be decent trades into the afternoon, because they're all holding up above key technical levels. The other ones are not. They're all breaking down. So keep your eye out on that. Definitely interested in keeping an eye on Pony, that is, for sure. Joseph Schmo. Wolf is still under the boot of a class action lawsuit. I guess those are good news these days. Yeah, I don't know if they're good news, but maybe not as bad as the market has anticipated. And we know what happens when news isn't as bad. Things tend to rally a little bit. So keep an eye out on that. Marcos Morales, market looks strong now. I bet it breaks. That's what I was asking you guys. I want to get your feedback on whether or not you felt this market was starting to change its tune, but we're still not above these key levels, at least that way on the future, right? You know what I mean? In this area over here on the future at around 1245 and 1250. We kind of rejected that same area we're at right now. So I need to see more, man. I need to see higher highs and higher lows, and certainly something back into VWAP here to kind of look interesting. So we'll keep an eye out there. XBI, says Jameson. Good look, question mark. Let's find out, my man. We're going to load it up here in a second on the screen. OMEX is not for me. I heard somebody yelling. Havana Woody was telling me about OMEX. It was just not for me. XBI, let's have a look at XBI. No, brother. I mean, like, what am I looking at here? This one sold off quite aggressively. So it looks like we closed out at 8 and maybe 8 1/4, and we popped up all the way 82.10, drop back down to barely break even on the day, down to 80 2/3, a little bit below that. So it's below VWAP. This one not for me. XBI. So not sure what's going on with that one. DDT. That guy again. Sharif, don't feel bad. I'm American and have never owned an American car. Really? That's okay. Well, I can get behind that. I mean, you guys just have your pick of the lot. Everybody wants access to the American market, so you're going to get every car and then some. Except, you know what I notice is very absent from North American markets? French cars. You don't have the Peugeot. You don't have the, what else? There's a Peugeot. There's a Renault. There's a couple of other ones. Vauxhall. We have Fiat, but we don't have the full Fiat lineup. I know Fiat's Italian. Yeah. So there's a lot of European cars not in North America.
I mean, Alfa Romeo kind of just started to get more popular a couple years ago.
Stellantis
right?
brought them in because Stellantis owns them, right? So they weaseled them in with their price.
Isn't the Mini Cooper is Stellantis' best-selling car, isn't it?
No, Mini Cooper I think is BMW if I'm not mistaken.
I thought it was. Is it?
It's BMW.
Is it? Oh, yeah.
Bovin. OMEX is climbing up. I just literally looked at that, Bovin. Hold on. Let's have a look at OMEX. Yeah, but you know what I feel about these, Bovin? It's got to get above that volume-weighted average price. That's double sevens right now, my man. In addition to that, Bovin, so that you have VWAP as an obvious area of resistance here on OMEX, and then look at all this initial bull flag, the top end of the range. That's basically conflating with that $1.77. I'll explain why I'm doing that later. That $1.77 prior. So I don't know, Bovin. It's going to have to get above VWAP for me to get interesting. Otherwise, I want nothing to do with it. A Jarhead Trader, Sharif, Joseph, Tesla's ripping. While the future's ripping. And that's why I was asking you guys, is the market changing its tune? The entire market's curling right now, man.
Absolutely ripping.
Palantir?
Palantir is ripping.
The Katina man is going to be very happy with that.
Look at this one. Back all the way up to 112.85. Look at the momentum in this name. And if I pull up my notes, I was just saying, it's the most simplistic stuff, and I like what Obi was referring to earlier. It's just like, you can make this game as complicated as you want, or you can make it as simplistic as you want, and I'm a simple guy. And that's what I refer to, just leaving it at that. So Palantir's stock has been really strong. Period. That's it. Like, what else are you going to argue about this, right? Like, this name, considering to some of these other tech stocks, I mean, at one point we had a 47% haircut, and now we're looking at just under 10% here. Like, what an absolute rally back here in PLTR. So look for the strength. Look for names that are going to continuously be strong. And I think for me, that's the likes of Hood and Palantir, Sharif.
All right, Joseph.
I know it's 2 o'clock already.
There it is.
Mondays fly by, man. Mondays really fly by. Guys, I hope everyone had a good Monday. Don't start your week off bad and just kind of revenge trade. There's going to be plenty of opportunities throughout the week. It is going to be a monstrous week on earnings, and I'm most definitely looking forward to it.
All right, guys, same bot time, same bot channel. I'll see everybody at the green screen.
Dang. What's up, everybody?
How's it going?
Neil with me here. This is on the bottom.
He's at the bottom. Riz.
Obi with me.
How you guys
good?
doing?
How was your lunch? We had that turkey.
Yeah, not too bad.
Mixed it with a little bit of that salad over there.
Yeah, I was